And welcome back to the party, everybody. This is Morty, and I am your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Everybody hit that like and subscribe. You know I would do it for you. And let's party. Big shout out to the replay gang. Thank you so much for coming back to watch this, even though you missed the live party. Guys, that is the best part, so make sure you are here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, and sometimes whenever I feel like it. So hit that subscribe, ring the bell, and you will never miss an Indian Jesus live party ever again. If you'd like to support the channel, head on over to TheIndianJesus.com for your very own official merch. We got shirts, we got phone cases, we got all kinds of stuff. TheIndianJesus.com. Guys, we do also have a Discord server that is absolutely free to join. 24/7, we are in there hanging out, having a great time. It is a great place to meet people and have interesting conversations. And like I said, it is absolutely free to join. However, if you are a member of this channel here, you can scroll right below the video, hit that join button, and there's a few different tiers here, but it starts at just $2.99 a month, less than a cup of coffee. Comes with members only live streams here on YouTube, all that other good stuff, but also opens up the full Discord server. There's extra channels, and including the voice channel, where as soon as we are done here, we are headed over there for an after party where we are not worried about any YouTube censors or anything like that. You are not stuck behind your keyboard. You are actually on screen with me and everybody else. It is a good time. Definitely come and join us. We got Morty in the building. Come and join in, Morty. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We got Pastor Huckleberry. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party. We also got Starsphere. Welcome to the party. Asking about our running poll. Is Gen Z good for politics? Yes or no? Replay gang, let me know in the comments below. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party, guys. So in that sphere, in that vein of Gen Z, I did think that, as election day is tomorrow, and finally we get to put all of this stuff behind us, we haven't really talked specifically about what's going on with Zoomers and how are they voting. We brought up in passing how Gen Z is the first generation in a long time to skew more conservative than, or not more conservative, but less liberal than the generation before them. But here we have a bunch of liberal voters and a bunch of conservative voters, all Generation Z. Let's see what they are actually up to. Speaking of Gen Z, shout out to Rhett in action. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party. Good to see you. Good to see you. So it's been a best week so far. Got a boyfriend and two favorite YouTubers upload, and and join an Indian Jesus stream just in time. There you go. There you go. Welcome, welcome, welcome. As always, guys, if you cannot hear the video, please do let me know.
I think we're like all, mostly grown up, and we're like, this sucks.
Yeah.
Last decade or so has kind of sucked.
No wonder suicide rates are so high. No wonder people are so depressed. There's nothing to live for. There's nothing to fight for. And rightfully so. All our foreign wars are for big corporations and elites who do not give a damn about America.
Jackie, you're an ambitious woman. You're a business owner.
Yeah, you
You own a nonprofit. You're the CEO.
Well, she's had to.
But
I had to. This is actually for survival.
Driven?
This is actually for survival.
Because she was
I didn't
driven
want
to do so.
I didn't want to do this.
In an ideal world,
I would be married with children in an ideal world.
Do you still love your country?
I love to be an American.
Stella?
Love being an American.
So why are
Shout out to Sofa King. Good. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party. In that first few minutes, I got to say it the proper way. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party.
you saying that the system perpetuates hating America?
I'll let you cook. I'll let you cook.
This is the first presidential election for which most of Gen Z is of voting age, and both candidates are trying to woo them.
We have to have the American dream for our young people.
I'm going to give a particular shout out to the Gen Z.
The Gen Z.
In this episode of Swing State Debates, I'm in Michigan to speak with Gen Z voters about the political reality they've inherited.
They're so little.
Can you all go around and
Well, I'm little. I mean, young.
tell me your name and what you do, including if you're active in any political capacity, and who you're planning on voting for if you've decided yet?
And actually, I'll start this off by saying when I was their age, let's say they're average 20 years old. Let's say I don't know exactly how old they are, but let's say they're average 20 years old. Definitely, when I was 20 years old, I didn't know jack about politics. It definitely wasn't all over the media, and it wasn't the entirety of pop culture. But it is. I definitely wasn't involved. So let's see how they.
Let's start with you.
My name is Katie. I am 23. I work as a respiratory therapist, so not really political. I represent the
No, it won't, bro. That first of all, he won't. That's not him. Second of all, that's not like that's just some random people just made that up, and it's not really that bad.
Libertarian Party, and I'm going to vote for Trump.
I'm Stella. I am 19 and a sophomore in college. I am the communications director for the Michigan College Democrats, and I plan on voting for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz.
Sam Ditsazy. I currently work in politics in Lansing. I'm legislative director there. I managed students for Trump back in 2020, and as you can imagine, I'm voting for Donald Trump again in 2024.
My name is Amber Henson. I am a current undergrad at the University of Michigan. I am the state executive board vice president for the Michigan College Democrats, and I am voting for Kamala Harris.
So I'm Jackie Eubanks. I'm the state director of Catholics for Trump. So I think you all know who I'll be voting for, obviously.
I'm Alec Beaton. I am a Trump regional manager, coordinator. I'm also a volunteer for the GOP. I'm a district youth chair for the district GOP, also a county GOP youth chair.
I'm Alec Hughes. I'm a senior now at the University of Michigan, co-president of our
Why does he look the youngest?
Democrats chapter at UMich.
Why does he look the youngest if he's a senior? And so understand if people are honest with themselves, the only people who think it's a good idea for kids to vote are still kids. I completely agree. I was so happy when Vivek Ramaswamy started talking about having a something akin to the citizenship test for anybody between 18 and 25 before you get the right to vote. I'm with it. I'm with it. As I've said many times before, if you think about an 18-year-old in 2024 and compare that to an 18-year-old in 1984, not the same thing. Not the same thing at all.
Senior now at the University of Michigan, co-president of our College Democrats chapter at UMich. So I'll be voting for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz.
Hey, shout out to Quam Tech. Welcome to the party. Said only one woman doesn't have that female upswing in their tone. I don't know what you mean. What are you talking about? You mean when they talk like this? And of course, it's the conservative one. Why does she have to be Catholic though? Welcome to the party. We also got Unwanted Foe. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Yeah, look at that porn stash there. Loving it. Welcome.
Democrats chapter at UMich. So I'll be voting for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz.
So I want to start with where do you get your news? Like, what's your favorite podcast or news program or whatever? And why don't we start over here and just go around?
Dave Smith and Joe Rogan.
I get mine from the Washington Post.
Hold up. Can we just based AF? Rogan and Dave Smith. I mean, definitely not the best place for news, but in terms of culture, on the right on the right track.
Over here and just go around.
Dave Smith and Joe Rogan.
I get mine from the Washington Post and the New York Times mostly.
Guilty Twitter. I'm still calling it Twitter.
Yeah.
Hey, Ray, we got some new people. All right, we got some new people.
NPR and CNN.
My favorite X account.
NPR and CNN. Is it any wonder why she's voting for Kamala? Shout out to King Nirvana. Welcome to the party. Good to see you.
Account, which is AF Post.
Yeah, AF Post, Twitter, Rumble, Telegram.
I'm also guilty with Twitter. I also listen to NPR on the.
Can we just get over that? Can we not? Oh, where did you see it on Twitter? Yeah. Is that a problem? Is it not true? Then yeah, everybody gets their news from Twitter.
Well, Telegram.
I'm also guilty with Twitter. I also listen to NPR and the New York Times podcast on occasion.
Finish this sentence, and I'm just going to popcorn this here. Democrats stand for.
Ooh, okay. So everybody put in the chat. Democrats stand for ... Democrats. So I would say Democrats stand for whatever gets them elected. All right. Let's see what you guys have to say. In case you didn't hear it, Democrats stand
Finish
for...
this sentence, and I'm just going to popcorn this here. Democrats stand for...
What do we say? Gomtech said these libs need to say it with their chest. Say it with your chest. Yep. AP is good. Yeah, AP is good. Unwanted Foe said, guilty with Twitter, aka I loved it when the right was being censored on Twitter. Yup. Anybody want to fill in the blank? Democrats stand for anybody? Alrighty then.
Reproductive freedom.
Minorities.
They definitely do stand for minorities.
Version.
Let's go one by one.
Reproductive freedom.
So they definitely stand for that, if nothing else.
Minorities.
Subversion.
Ooh, subversion. Democrats stand for subversion.
Progress.
Yay.
Big government.
Big government, true.
Democracy.
Democracy.
Hive mind.
Hive mind, yup. And Guamtech said, Dem stand for whatever the agenda is for the day. Sofa said they stand for killing babies. Yep, that was even listed by one of the people on the panel. Wonderful said they stand for feelings over logic. Very true. Starsphere said Democrat equals slavery through dependence on government to solve their problem. Yup. Agreed. Pastor said Democrats don't stand for anything. They do a whole lot of squatting and pumpkin patch. Good one. Love it.
Democracy. Hive mind.
Subversion, that stuck out for me. Say more.
Yeah. Shout out to Carl's Frosted Tips. Welcome to the party. Coming in hot with a $1.99. And of course, you guys know every donation comes with a treat for Morty. Said, feed my boy, big day tomorrow, Trump 2024. Hell yeah. If you have not already, please, guys, go out and vote for Trump. If you're not going to vote for Trump, then I don't really care what you do. I'm not going to be one of those people who pretends to, everybody needs to vote. No. If you're going to vote for an evil person, just don't. That's cool. That's totally fine. Welcome. We also got John in the building. Welcome. So Gen Z is stupid. Gen Alpha will save us all. They already know what's up with fake news, and traditional corporate media will die. That's the one of the videos we were watching yesterday. I think there's something to it. I think Gen Alpha might really have it. They have to pay attention, but I think they've got it. Oh my goodness! Again, Carl coming in hot before I can even update the banner. Out sponsoring himself. Another $1.99. That's 2 out of 10. Two super chats, $2 and above, and that will get Morty his treat. Thank you so very much. And of course, that makes you the new sponsor of the stream. Very much appreciated. Thank you. Let's see what this guy is saying about subversion.
Hive mind.
Subversion, that stuck out for me. Say more.
You look at the culture today. Our culture as is already degenerative. The entire mindset of our youth, of our country, has totally changed for the worse. Well, obviously, it's not the conservatives who want to preserve the culture and maintain traditions that are causing this, but rather it is radicals, it is liberals, it is people that want to change things, and they have progress that are making these changes, which is worsening the country. I think that we should be trying to move forward and make progress, yes, but through actual changes that benefit the youth, that benefit and strengthen the country. We need strong values, strong leaders, strong families, and this is not going to be done with policies that are going to be more,
like transing the youth or drag queen story hour.
Yeah.
Like, how does that make the country?
How's that going to win up?
It doesn't. And Unwanted Bo, thank you for never, ever letting me forget that there was a time where the mainstream media did convince me to vote for Hillary Clinton. I will never forget that. I will wear that like a badge of shame. But it's always there. Rhett said, with how much people are shitting on Gen Alpha, you have to admit they are pretty smart. Yes, I absolutely agree. And I think a lot of what people are saying about Gen Alpha specifically is that, they're not doing well but that's, they're like 7, 10, 12 years old. So that's not necessarily their problem. Whereas if you're 18 to 25 and you're not doing so well, that's your fucking fault. But when we say Gen Alpha is not doing well, that is an indictment of the parents and teachers and anyone else, but except the kids.
Transing the youth or drag queen story hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, how does that make the country?
How's that going to win
better?
us, in the competitive war against Russia or China? They're teaching
how does that fix the
They're
economy?
going to teach their kids how to fight, how to win. They have a winning mindset. They don't care about these other issues because they're busy on conquering the world. And I'm not saying we should go and engage in wars.
No, but like the Chinese youth are literally building guns at their desks.
Yeah.
Speaking of guns, I forgot to read this. I apologize, Carl. Said Democrats try and take our guns. We won't comply. Dilly to that. I get so excited with the puppy. Sometimes I forget. But y'all know how that be. Y'all know how that be. Once again, how dare she say all that without being emotionally invested? Doesn't this guy know how to change minds? Everybody knows it's through loud outbursts and insults. Of course, obviously. Sounds like kids in middle school are based today. My sister tells me because she's a teacher, soon to become principal. Hey, shout out to her. And the stuff these kids say is wild and use stuff like retarded and homo a lot. Let's go. It's the 80s all over again for Gen Alpha. And so imagine if we got another Gen X, but actually emotionally intelligent. Come for me, Gen Xers!
Engage in wars.
No, but like the Chinese youth are literally building guns at their desks.
Yeah.
And we're like asking children if they want to get transgender surgery.
I will say I don't.
Oh my goodness, Carl! Crazy man over here. Crazy man said last one almost at bedtime. Conservatives want Americana first. Family values, no illegals, no trans agenda, freedom of speech, and to be left the hell alone. You are goddamn right, sir. Let's get this out of the way and treat our puppy here. Thank you so very much. Carl alone has brought us 3 out of 10 donations to get us Morty his peanut butter. Thank you so thank you so very, very much, sir. And of course, you just out-sponsored yourself. Thank you.
And we're like asking children if they want to get transgender surgery.
I will say I don't know that Drag Queen Story Hour is part of Kamala Harris's platform. But
isn't it though?
Let's do Republic.
Is it not part of her platform? Is it something that she's going to be against because it's happening and I don't want it to? So if she's not going to be against it and the right is, then I'm with the right. Thank you again. Paul's Frosted Tips sponsoring 3 times. 3 times. Thank you so very, very much. Starsphere said, become an independent and learn how to cross-reference. Always a good way to go. Said, I have no problem with Generation Alpha. Those kids are smart, smarter than their Gen Z counterparts. Bingo. Yep. Gen Alpha is going to have to learn how to be a responsible younger sibling. Yep, absolutely. Rhett said, quick reminder that the fancy geometric S is really the 3 lines, that thing, it's becoming popular again. Wow, that's the sign of a good generation. That's the sign of a good generation. I think it started with Gen X. So shout out. We also got Am in the building. Welcome to the party. We got Patrick C. Good to see ya. Yep, her platform is whatever gets her a vote. Good to see you guys. Good to see ya. Grab a couple more of these and dive back in here. Ronzek says, funny how the pendulum swings back so organically just with the changing of generations. They take the sensibilities of the past and just say, fuck it and fuck you. Thank goodness. Hey, shout out to Unwanted Foe. Another $2 super chat. That's 4 out of 10, guys. We just started. 4 out of 10. Oh my goodness. Thank you. And oh my god, we're not even gonna get to the video, guys. Holy moly. Of course, our boy Funk Master General with 10 gifted memberships. Thank you so very, very much, making you the new co-sponsor of the stream. Guys, if you were just gifted a membership, make sure you join the Discord server. That gives you full access to the entire thing, including the after party. You do not want to miss that. Thank you so very, very much. All right, let's get right back into this. I know you are here for this and not for giving.
Know that Drag Queen Story Hour is part of Kamala Harris's platform. But let's do Republicans. What do Republicans stand for? Republicans stand for.
Okay, all right. So from the other side now, Republicans stand for. I mean, actually, who just listed it? Somebody just listed it. Somebody just did it. Where is it? Am I blind? There's no way. I swear I just saw that. No? Hey, shout out to Garrett Grant. Another $2 sent for the peanut butter fund. We are halfway there, guys. We are halfway there. Thank you so very, very much. Oh, very much appreciate you. I'm just looking for this chat here. I feel like one of you guys just said it. Yeah, Carl was just saying exactly this. This is what Republicans stand for. Oh, man, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much. I didn't even get a chance to update the banner. Hey, yo! My boy said, F YouTube, they can take my money if it supports Morty. And it does. Thank you. You guys, amazing. I love you to no end. All right, what do Republicans stand for?
But let's do Republicans. What do Republicans stand for? Republicans stand for
The past.
Okay, I'm not mad at that.
I was going to say the past too.
MAGA.
We stand for the American dream.
Republicans stand for
Strength.
Republicans stand for
Regression.
Republicans stand for
Conservatism.
I was going to say strength, but I'm also not a part of either party. I stand for individual freedoms. That's kind of the overall priority of the Libertarian Party. Just kind of like a leave me alone. Stop taxing everything. Let me have my full wage. Let's pull out of these countries.
Pulling out is always good. Oh my God. Yo. Hey, yo. Pat C with another $2. Thank you so very much. Let's get this man his treat. He loves it. He wants it. Oh my God. Garrett coming in hot as well. Guys, thank you so much. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you guys. Amazing. I feel bad. I don't want to spend so much time just thanking you, getting all mushy, but I love you guys. It really means so much to me. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. Carl again with another. We're 2 away, guys. We're 2 away. That is it. We're 2 away. So join Gun Owners of America. Protect your rights. Bingo. Good way to go. Absolutely, sir.
Stop taxing everything. Let me have my full wage. Let's pull out of these countries. No more war.
Do math. Lots of math.
Let me have my guns. And
let me have my gun.
Just
right?
give me freedom of speech, and let's all just kind of exist and not be fighting all the time.
Okay, so to be quite honest with you, in order for society to function well, you do have to have some infringements on individual freedoms. Some. True. That doesn't mean entirely. All
right, let's just get this out of the way. Shout out to Sofa King Good. No question, no comment, just pure love of the game. And then we have Funk Master General coming in and finishing up the job. So here's what we're going to do. He's going to check that. He's going to get this. I did not expect this to go, but check that out while we get the peanut butter. He doesn't even know. 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 Ready? Hey. You got him, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, where's my applause? There we go. Thank you so very much. My goodness, guys, you are amazing, amazing, amazing. Oh, now I'm caught. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. All right. Okay. We're good. I know. I'm trying. All right. We're getting back in here. Thank you so very much. I really do appreciate it, guys. Let's watch this fucking video. I love you all so much. Look at him enjoying all of his peanut butter there. There's a lot in there. It's obviously not full, but, I scoop out as much as I can scoop out. And then he is there. All right, let's go back a little bit to what do Republicans stand for? All right, guys, thank you so very, very much.
In order for
all freedom, stop taxing individual freedoms. And that's kind of the overall.
Oh, brother. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Priority of the Libertarian Party. Just kind of like a leave me alone. Stop taxing everything. Let me have my full wage. Let's pull out of these countries. No more war.
Yup.
Let me have my guns. And just give me freedom of speech. And let's all just kind of exist and not be fighting all the time.
Okay, so to be quite honest with you, in order for society to function well, you do have to have some infringements on individual freedoms.
Thank you so much.
Some.
Yes.
That doesn't mean entirely. That certainly doesn't mean I need to take all of your, I need to take a part of your paycheck for income tax. There was a point in time when we didn't need to do that, but we still legislated morality for the sake of preserving social cohesion. And so, for example, it actually during the founding era was illegal to have a child out of wedlock. Now, we would be aghast in our modern day that would ever be illegal. How could you not have a child out of wedlock? That's your right. But the reality was they knew that the breakdown of the family would cause society to unravel. And it would be a great fiscal cost to the American taxpayer because then you have to have government support, right? A lot of times what would happen is women would go into what were poorhouses because their husband didn't, or the baby's father didn't marry them. And so who was going to support them? It either had to be the family, the church, or the government. And so it was made illegal to prevent it from being a burden on everyday Americans paying their taxes so that they didn't have to take care of this. And also it was for the sake of preserving the individual family unit because they knew that that was the building block of a healthy society. And so now we see today in the Black community, for example, 70% of children are born outside of wedlock, and Black Americans are disproportionately poorer and more likely to go to jail. And so you can link those things together: father absence, crime, poverty, unwed pregnancy, and the cycle continues.
I think even if you take all of the Jubilee content from the older liberals, conservatives, millennials, this wouldn't be able to be as well spoken as that woman was in just that one articulation.
That's just extremely simplistic. I mean, to pull up just
it's not simplistic. It's just simple. Some things are just simple. Well, it can't be that simple. It must need a college degree to figure it out. No, keep the family together and the family stays good. That's how it works.
That's just extremely simplistic. I mean, to pull up just as an example, like the African American community, which has undergone centuries of, structural racism, of
they don't like African American anymore. They like Black now.
A legal system fully being built up against them at every corner, to say that no, it's not that. It's instead that children are being born out of wedlock seems like an extremely simplistic and, in my view at least, extremely just incorrect argument to make. That because there's a degradation of morality, that's why the communities in the state it's in today, rather than what has actually tangibly been taken on against them for the entire history of the country.
You don't think the 1965 Civil Rights Act fixed anything?
It did fix some things, but it definitely hasn't gone the whole way.
How would we?
It didn't fix everything, therefore it's bad. It's bad. In 1964, we were on the right track, but it's 1964's problem. The bill from 1964, it's not anything where we were on a consistent progressive trajectory in race relations from 1965 onward. And then just in the last few, the last decade or so, things went downhill. No, that didn't happen, right? It's because the bill was wrong. Got it.
Anything?
It did fix some things, but it definitely hasn't gone the whole way.
How would we bring back that morality of not having children out of wedlock and such? And, you know, how would we get to that point as Americans?
We stop incentivizing single motherhood. When we stop incentivizing that and actually start kind of growing a community around these families.
Yeah, I agree with you, Carl. It's like black people. Just say black people. We use the word black to describe the shades of melanin that go with what used to be called African Americans. It's black people. That's not a bad thing to say. It's weird when they try to, again, obfuscate the semantics to make them seem better. That if you say black people, that you're bad. You're bad. Silly. Concept. So this guy is making perfection the enemy of the good. Yep. Even if it's simplistic, it's still a better answer than anything we've seen in the past 15 years or so. Yep. And said, why weren't women allowed bank accounts or property? I know why. Does anybody else? Because it was they didn't trust him. I don't know what exactly are you going for. Carl said, LBJ said, I'll have them and voting Democrat for 50 years. Yep. And that 50 years is just about up, isn't it? Just about up.
That and actually start kind of growing a community around these families. And that's one thing I think Republicans are kind of changing their tune on. I mean, we've seen it. We are the pro-life party, and I think we're starting to kind of change our ways a little bit when it comes to more support for young families and single mothers. But we just cannot keep having the government be the answer to absent fathers. That's just never going to work.
I just want to make sure that this isn't kind of justifying, issues of domestic violence in the household, because obviously proportionally women are more.
Yeah, of course. No. We're totally down with women just beating, or men just beating down on women. What? You're not? You're not? Of course not. This is the same exact thing. The same exact thing of trying to take the moral high ground. I just want to make sure that you guys know that it's bad for men to beat the shit out of women. We all know that, right? Yeah, honey. Yeah, honey. You're not special for thinking that.
Justifying, issues of domestic violence in the household, because obviously proportionally women are more likely to be affected by domestic violence.
I'm not one of those people that say you should stay in your marriage no matter what.
Yes.
If you're not on a red pill podcast where the guy's like, endure. What was that guy's name? I don't even remember. He's faded into obscurity already. But just real quick, I mean, he is so happy. Thank you so much, guys. He is so happy. Thank you. Yeah, they argue everything but the point, right? Starsphere said, as a white woman, you're making me uncomfortable, brown man. Be careful about stereotyping the black man. Well, I definitely wouldn't want to do that.
I'm not one of those people that say you should stay in your marriage no matter what. If you're facing abuse, get out. But I don't think that's happening in the majority of the cases.
And notice what she did. Does anybody have any idea what I'm about to comment on? The audacity. First, let's say hello to Indie Film. Welcome to the party. Look at this asshole. He's like, what? Do I get more? No more. Yeah. His name is Doug Emhoff. Just say it. Woman beater. Yep. But yeah, it's crazy. And John definitely makes a good point. They were too indoctrinated, and it's not really their fault. Okay. But I was also indoctrinated as a child. And then I was given the right to vote, and I was required to grow up. So this is the same thing that people will try to throw at Charlie Kirk all the time, because he will go to college campuses. He'll bring, he's brought Vivek Ramaswamy, Tulsi Gabbard. He actually did something with Rob Schneider recently. And there's always somebody. He's like, do you get off, arguing with college students? Like, I'm here talking to voters. These are, your vote counts as much as anybody else. Am I not allowed to talk to voters? Should I not be talking to voters? Should I ignore voters because they're in school? Like, what are you talking about? And so yeah, they may have been indoctrinated, but that stops becoming an excuse when you're casting a vote.
Facing abuse, get out. But
Yes.
I don't think
That.
that's happening in the
Good. Yes.
majority of the
Good.
cases.
Yes. That's the correct answer. I'm glad you know the right answer of if a woman is getting beat, then what she would do. Listen again.
Facing abuse, get out. But
Good. Yes.
I don't think
Yes.
that's happening in the majority of the cases. I think we've made it too easy for fathers to walk away from their children because they know whether I'm there or not, Uncle Sam's going to be there to take care of me or
True.
take care of my children.
True.
And we just got to stop doing that. We need to give women the tools that they have beforehand so that they have successful pregnancies, that they are not, having this unexpectedly, and that when things like this do happen, they're prepared for it and they have resources at their disposal.
So already we're seeing that even though this guy seems like the most buttoned up Republican type guy, that he's still talking about, making sure the women are doing well, making sure that people are fair, not about, finger wagging and be like, well, just don't have sex before marriage or don't have sex with the guy that you don't want to have a kid with, which is also true and very good advice, but a different mindset from the younger people. Carl said, as a member of the first responder community for 25 plus years. Hey, well, dilly to that, sir. Carl's going to say, women beat men also. It's more common than you think, but most men stay to support the kids. Well, we know statistically what type of relationship gets the most domestic violence, and that is lesbian couples. So if you take lesbian couples, gay men, or straight couples, then lesbians are the most violent of the three.
Would you say that pro-choice is a tool to stop single motherhood?
No,
not as much as murder is any. No.
I think what we need to get back to is fostering a culture that supports life. And as we've seen with the abortion issue, that has went back to the states now. Here in Michigan specifically, voters made their voices heard, and it's enshrined into our Constitution now. And I think that the best path forward is to be looking at the reasons why are women having abortions like they are. And I think it goes back to the economic problems. We have made it so unaffordable in this country to have a family, everything between the inflation, being able to buy a home, that having a kid has went from being a beautiful moment in a lot of women's lives to being one of the most scary. And I think that if we continue to just put Band-Aids on the problem and say, apply
and kick the can down the road, look how happy he is.
For bare minimum government benefits to help you through, I don't think that's going to be helping anyone.
So guys, make sure that you have the live chat on. So at the top of the chat, if it says top chat, then you're only getting some of the chats. If you click that and hit live chat, it'll show you everything.
Have you guys, to the Democrats on this panel, have you heard these arguments before?
Yeah, I heard it just in passing, maybe not so much in college, just because I don't know if anyone our age is necessarily thinking about starting a family or anything.
That's crazy that you never heard that before.
Yeah, right? Like, again, this is a senior. If you're a freshman, fine. But you're about to go out into the real world and you don't understand that people want to start a family? What?
About starting a family or anything.
That's crazy that you never heard that before, like, except in passing. That's insane. That's crazy.
And typically I want to stay away from the shaming of, oh, you didn't hear about the thing that I heard of. But when you're specifically, number one, when you're specifically talking about a topic, then it's fair game. If we're talking about abortion and you haven't heard about, the video of the girl calling at 34 weeks, can you come up here so everybody can see you, Bubba? They paid good money. They paid good money for that. There you go. Good boy. Good job. All right. I can't force him. I'm doing my best. What the hell was I saying? The idea that, like, oh, you didn't hear about every little thing that I heard of? That's not necessarily a fair argument. But if you're going to make if we're going to be specifically talking about abortion, and then we have, I never heard anybody talking about these arguments. Like, okay, then what are you doing here? John said it's more affordable than he thinks when both parents are actually stay together, and the child tax credits as well. I'm tired of paying for other people's decisions. I said, shit, me too. And says women fight for the most self-undoing and deprecating things. I don't get it. They must know what men show love in action and not obsession or sex. That's why they dismiss y'all immediately. Okay, gotcha. Okay, they must not know that men show love in action and not obsession or sex. That is why they dismiss y'all immediately. There you go. Yep, exactly. Again, guys, if we could, avoid advertising other people's streams on my stream, I would very much appreciate that. But welcome to the party, Dylan Soup.
Heard that before, like, except in passing. That's insane. That's crazy.
Why is that crazy?
Because I feel like if you just do a little bit of research, independent thinking, and dig into issues, you'll start to put two and two together. It's not that difficult. You just have to either have somebody give a balanced viewpoint, an alternative viewpoint to the same things you've been told your whole life. I mean, let's be realistic here.
And again, sure, yes, you're right, but this is not how you convince people. And this is where, again, we're looking at the Zoomers. This is how Zoomers think, and to be condescending and self-righteous, like, oh my God, you didn't even hear that. I'm like, all right, educate the kid, if anything. Hey, shout out to Unwanted Bo said, cut the jar from my boy. I can't cut it, then he'll cut himself. But he'll open it up. But what I can do for you is give him the cap. There's some peanut butter on the cap, but yeah, I can't cut it. That'll slice his face open. Not trying to do that. But yeah, he bites if you look at some of, I don't think any of the old ones are down here, but yeah, he will bite it and open it up himself. He does not need my help. That's half the fun. That is half the fun. But thank you very, very much, sir. And I think that makes you, I'm looking for the banner, the new sponsor of the stream. Thank you. I don't care about talking about other channels, but just be like, hey guys, the Shuli Network is doing an awesome show right now. Don't worry about lunch. Go watch that. It's just, you know what I mean? But thank you. Again, all right, diving back in here.
A balanced viewpoint, an alternative viewpoint to the same things you've been told your whole life. I mean, let's be realistic here. The public education system is overwhelmingly left-wing. Do you agree or disagree?
I think it's pretty obvious that it's left-leaning. I mean, when I was in school, they were saying like, all right, let's skip Christian history, go straight to the Arab empires. And then the next year, it's just like all about how racist America is.
Or the fact that in my AP US history textbook, I'll never forget this because I read the whole damn thing cover to cover. They went into an entire section on the greatness of Margaret Sanger, who founded Planned Parenthood. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm a faithful Catholic. I'm completely against Planned Parenthood and everything it stands for. Why does my AP US history textbook have an entire section dedicated to this woman?
It's sad that, yeah, they absolutely know about Margaret Sanger. And like Anne said, they just don't care.
Who's caused the death of millions and millions of unborn babies.
I mean, feminism is an indisputable part of U.S. history. Like, it's a very common theme.
Is it though? I don't think so.
I think it should be like patriotic. We should love this country. And like, I'll agree, the system sucks. You know, as a conservative, as like someone who was like a nationalist, like I hate how our country is now, but we should glorify the good things that we did, and that never really happened. And this country, you can disagree, was founded on Christian values. What was the Constitution founded on or based on? The Magna Carta. What was the Magna Carta based on? The Bible. And all of the founding fathers, except for like one or two of them, were Christian. So why aren't we, incorporating some elements of Christianity, or at least the fact that the people that were in Europe came here because of religious freedoms?
Raise your hands here if you think that.
So again, I mean, I will nitpick a little bit in the fact that despite the fact that, this country was absolutely built on Christian values and all that stuff, and many, not all of the founding fathers were Christians. They were very specific and about separation of church and state. But, not the biggest thing here. Starsphere said, to make things worse, for some reason, people who are in less need of sunscreen are being convinced that the Democratic Party is the party. Oh, yeah, that's the playbook. That is the playbook. Patrick said he's a perfect example of people coming out of college these days. Yep. I mean, this is the machine. This is exactly what they want.
People that were in Europe came here because of religious freedoms.
Raise your hands here if you think that public education, pre-K through 12, is left-wing.
You don't realize it.
I don't think every day
who thinks it's right-wing?
See, we won.
Who thinks it has no ideology whatsoever?
I think that bias is a natural part of the education system. I think that obviously there's a lot of like things to talk about in education, but
there's a lot of things to talk about in education. Okay, guys, if you could do me a huge favor really quick, you guys have been amazing with the likes, but if you could just share this video, take the URL, hit the share button, take it wherever you can. It does not matter if anybody is going to click on the link. That doesn't matter. Just by sharing the video, you tell YouTube that you really like this and they should show it to more people. It helps out so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
When I think about my education system and my experience, it was inclusive of things that hadn't been previously mentioned in history before.
Like what?
Like the Red Power movement in America during it was the Indigenous Peoples movement. People never learned about that.
I didn't.
Exactly.
What was that?
It's the movement of Indigenous people trying to get out of reservations and like the schools that were mandated for them.
But have you heard about the Comanches?
Yes, yeah.
So you know that they would actually rape and kill the pioneers who lived out in Texas and Oklahoma?
I had a whole system.
But the indigenous people are the good ones, I thought. I thought they were the good ones because they're indigenous and they're not white.
There's a whole structure talking about indigenous people history. Like I didn't.
So you know about.
It was more inclusive.
You know,
it
the Aztecs and the human sacrifices and blood sacrifices that they did when the Spanish
I've learned about
arrived
that
there.
too. Yes.
They didn't tell us. They didn't tell us.
Okay, sweetie, then what is your point?
They said the
No, I
Spanish
didn't learn
came
that till
there
college.
and they just killed and raped and conquered. They mentioned nothing about conversion. It's why are the Mexicans so Catholic and so Christian? If the Spanish were so evil and so bad, why would they convert?
Do you want things like that implemented in our textbooks?
I want like a balance. I mean, I want to know about the evils that people have done. I mean, we all sin. Every nation, every country, we all have a bad history. You can look at any nation. So obviously, I mean, that's kind of inevitable, but we should subscribe that to values. Like obviously, I don't know. It should be used to further our patriotism, not hate our own system and hate our country. This is how it was 100 years ago, and it's still like this today. That's not going to make you more patriotic and love your country. They say these bad things are still happening, it's still present, and this country sucks, the system sucks, it's still corrupt, there's still this, there's still that. I mean, no.
America bad, 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 bad. It's so very bad.
Is it? Is it though? Is it though? I don't think it is. I think it's pretty goddamn awesome. Shout out to Guam Tech. Thank you so much, brother. It really, really does help, guys. Thank you so much.
And this country sucks, the system sucks, it's still corrupt, there's still this, there's still that. I mean, no wonder the suicide rates are so high. No wonder people are so depressed. There's nothing to live for, there's nothing to fight for. And rightfully so. All our foreign wars are for big corporations and elites who do not give a damn about America.
Let them cook.
So obviously, I agree with the left on those issues. And obviously, as young Gen Z, I want to fix that. We should only have wars that are defensive and whatnot, but we need to work together to create that. In an ideal world, we're not going to keep saying our country sucks, our system sucks. You know, we have to have an idealistic way of improving that.
But aren't you still patriotic?
I mean,
After enduring all of that.
Yes. What do you mean? I don't. That's maybe I'm reading into it, but it seemed like a gotcha type of. But you're still patriotic. Dylan said, America is considerably better than other countries, even some of our fellow Western countries, neighbors, and allies. Yep. Guamtech said, even just sharing to friends and DL still helps the YouTube algorithm, right? Absolutely. Yes, it does.
All of like.
But yeah, listen to this. Doesn't this sound like kind of an accusatory question here?
But aren't you still patriotic?
Am I reading into that?
After enduring all of that. All of like the negative history, aren't you still patriotic? Do you still love your country?
I love my country, but how it is now.
Alec, do you still love your country?
I love to be an American.
Stella?
Love being an American.
So why are you saying that the system perpetuates like hating America?
I think
because so many kids who don't really understand and just take all the bullshit propaganda at face value hate America. Okay, it's not just me. Not just me.
Why are you saying that the system perpetuates like hating America?
So even that question. So if the system perpetuates something, that must mean that everybody thinks it, right? That's how I operate. If a system is perpetuating a thing, then I think that thing. So how could you say that a system is perpetuating a thing and then not think that thing?
Stupid.
They tell on themselves over and over and over and over again. It's crazy.
I think you hate the history of America. Do you hate America's history?
I do not. No.
Okay. So that's a good thing to not hate your country's history. So that's good.
I think that there are a lot of inequalities in our history. In terms of how we teach it, I think that being more honest and being more transparent about what has happened in our history, I'm proud of about the fact that we're getting to a point of showing the bad.
Again, showing the bad, as if you can't read history. The assumption is that because this a public school only gives the basic understanding of stuff, that you're not supposed to then and continue learning. You're not supposed to just think of what they tell you and then stop thinking. But hey, public school is doing the damn
in our
thing.
history. I'm proud of about the fact that we're getting to a point of showing the bad stuff that America has done. We are able to see the whole perspective. We are able to see this is what happened truthfully. Like, we're not going to continue to hide that. I think that
Okay, what if we already know what happened and we are still for the country?
is ingrained in our country's beliefs, to be transparent, to be open about the bad things that we have had in the past.
And I don't think it's wrong to hate the bad parts of history, of which there are many objective good parts. There are many objective bad parts about American history. And I don't think it's wrong to hate the bad parts.
The reason why I ask is because
Sure, that's fair. It's not bad to hate the bad parts, but you can't use small factors and say the whole country now today is bad because of something that happened in history. It just doesn't work that way.
when I did work for Turning Point USA and I was on college campuses 5 days a week for 2 straight years, all I heard from crazy left, I know this is the stereotype, but I'm painting a picture for you, is the
I got to get better. Kudos to her. I got to get better at that. When I'm articulating, what I commonly see, whether it's from the woke or whether it's from Christians coming at me because I'm an atheist, I need to be better at saying not you specifically, but I know this is a stereotype, but this is just the picture that I see. That's a good rhetorical tactic.
I heard from crazy left, I know this is the stereotype, but I'm painting a picture for you, is these crazy people coming up screaming at you saying, F America, F you neo-Nazi. And that's what I had to endure for 2 straight years on a nearly daily basis. So you can't tell me that there aren't people who hate this country because I experienced it every day.
Well, look, every time a conservative speaker goes to speak at a college campus, it gets shut down because they act violent.
There were violent.
And it's been that way for almost a decade.
Protests that tried to shut down our Kent State Kyle Rittenhouse event.
Okay, wait.
I remember this part. Guys, if you are not paying attention, if you went to do something else, drop whatever you're doing and get ready to get triggered.
Violent.
There were violent protests that tried to shut down our Kent State Kyle Rittenhouse event.
Okay, wait. Excuse me if I'm wrong, but didn't Kyle Rittenhouse shoot a bunch of people?
Yes. Would you like to add any other context to that? Were they chasing him and look at the face? Didn't he shoot people? Didn't he shoot black people? No. This is the point. You could have been like, wait, was that the guy that did this, that, or the other? No, you came in and you did say it with your whole ass chest. Didn't he shoot a bunch of people? The lack of awareness is I don't have the word. I do not have the word. Yeah, he defended himself against the diddlers on the roof. I think only one was technically a diddler, but Antifa leftists, you never know. One more time.
Kyle Rittenhouse event.
Okay, wait. Excuse me if I'm wrong, but didn't Kyle Rittenhouse shoot a bunch of people?
And he was found
He was
guilty.
acquitted for self-defense.
Even if you don't agree with the court's decision, does that mean that
So
people
why are you
still
guys
have a
making
right
him
to
a
go into?
political figure?
He was invited. Hold on.
God.
He was invited.
But George Floyd, you have nothing to say about George Floyd, right? And so this is where I think the, just being a little bit of the younger side, like, you guys know me. I do not try to pretend like, oh, I'm, whatever, and I don't get triggered. You fucking see me get triggered all the time, and I don't hide from it. But I have the emotional maturity to be like, yes, I'm triggered right now because what you said is so goddamn stupid. And so if she was trying to make this argument, like, oh, why are you making him a political figure? Because he represents something larger than what actually happened. In the same, and then I would, without explaining, I'd say, why do you hold George Floyd up as a political figure? And we would get crickets. I know, right? That like, god damn, it's just insane. I said I'm gonna puke. This is why kids should not vote. I mean, yeah. Well, without that test, because these two, not legs crossed boy over here, but these two, I would have no problem with them voting, and not because of the fact that they are aligned with me, but because of the fact that they know what they're talking about. So let them take the test and let them go for it. And she made a face that's perfect for a dollar store knockoff. There you go. Yeah. And I'm totally with that. Raise it to 25, and even with the test for the 18 to 25, no test, no voting tier 25. I am fine with it all. I am fine with it all, and this is exactly why.
You guys making him a political figure.
He was invited. Hold on. He was invited by my Turning Point chapter to speak at their campus. That was my students' decision. So regardless of if I agree or disagree with anything about him, that was my students' decision.
So
should he or should he not be allowed to speak is the question on the table.
You think it's right to protest a controversial person?
You have a right to, but the fact that they tried to shut down the event by threatening to throw bricks at us, they were literally making bomb threats. We had to have bomb dogs sweep the building. It was insane in America to have to deal with that level of hatred. That
for speech. Not we were, holding, shooting classes or an anti-abortion rally, or it was a speech, standing in a spot on a stage and saying words.
They want to throw bricks at you because they don't agree with you.
So data show that overall, women under 30 are becoming more liberal than their male counterparts.
Yep, answer. The gap between the two is so vast, it is scary. There will be no middle ground. I hope that's not true, but I am very, very afraid.
And this applies, at least according to Gallup, for both college and non-college educated women. But we aren't seeing the same trend for men. I wonder why you guys think that is.
Wait, what?
In bricks
more liberal than
they don't agree with you.
So data show that overall, women under 30 are becoming more liberal than their male counterparts. And this applies, at least according to Gallup, for both college and non-college educated women.
Oh, I thought there was a second part to that. But yeah, obviously, women are more liberal than men because they get abortions, and they made their entire platform about abortion. Duh. Dylan said Kyle rises to pundit status is largely due to the left trying to demonize Kyle, but it also created kind of a Streisand effect. Absolutely right. Absolutely right.
But we aren't seeing the same trend for men. I wonder why you guys think that is.
Because men don't need abortions. And so this idea of like, oh my God, my rights to go be a whore. Like that's not a thing for men. That's why. Shout out to Rowdy Rub. Welcome to the party. Good to see you. Said a terrible idea earlier. Increasing presidential terms to 10 years and reducing the number of terms to 1. I just want to know how much more often impeachment happens when we know we're stuck with our choice for so long. Interesting. I'm not sure. I would definitely have to sit and think about that for a while. But it is definitely an interesting, idea. Yeah, it basically started with Milo, right? Well, back in Berkeley, 2016, like, yeesh, and it's just been nonstop.
Trend for men. I wonder why you guys think that is.
I think it's because Democrats masculinity is now not okay. It's not okay to be a man. They've made it to where, and especially if you are just your typical male.
Gonzaga said because modern day liberalism is designed to manipulate women. They plan on men falling in line eventually to appeal to said women. Bingo. Spot on, sir. Spot on. And this ties exactly in line with, well, they're going to determine what is acceptable masculinity. And it doesn't matter if that doesn't really align with biology. We get to just decide because y'all will fall in line because you want to get the viscous innards.
Democrats have masculinity is now not okay. It's not okay to be a man. They've made it to where, and especially,
well, unless you're a woman, of course, then it's okay to be a man.
If you are just your typical male, you are automatically assumed to be sexist or racist by the Democrats. Just being your typical white male. Democrat Party usually looks at me and says, "Oh, he does not understand what's going on with our culture," and it's just sad.
Yeah, we're seeing a counter.
And Dylan has a great point. So if you don't want these people to be praised, then don't make them out to be the boogeymen you say they are. Let them be a footnote in history and the news report. And then the opposite is also true. We all should be talking way more about Matthew Crooks, whatever the fuck his name is. I forgot already. We should be doing the opposite. We should be talking, hey, Ryan Routh, why didn't we get, what happened with that? So you're exactly right. It's based on the way that the narrative is spun. Starsphere said, I was often told that if you were not voting Democrat by the time you're in your 20s, you had no heart. And if you weren't voting Republican by the time you're in the 30s, you had no head. Yeah, that's if you're not a liberal when you're young, you have no heart. If you don't become more conservative, you got no brain.
Culture build up. When I was in high school, it was like the punk rock was getting your MAGA hat. You couldn't wear it, so you had to tie it to your backpack and walk around. And that's what we did. It was like we were revolutionaries, basically.
I think
you mean rebels.
One of the main reasons this trend started to happen, especially in the United States, is with Donald Trump running for president. He's
nope, wrong. The world did not start when you started paying attention. Politics did not start when you started paying attention. Donald Trump is the dam, not the river.
Had a lot of sexist, rhetoric. He said,
"Oh, please let her say grab them by the pussy." I bet you she's going to use that one.
He's had a lot of sex.
The man has literally been in court for rape, and you choose. They let you grab them by the pussy.
This, rhetoric. He said you could do anything. Grab a woman by the pussy.
Because I told you. And when did I tell you? A long time ago. And what did I say will happen when I told you exactly what does happen?
Sad. Dylan said, did you guys ever hear of a guy who told a feminist to shut up on a bus? No, that's because it didn't reach the news and went viral. Hypothetical situation, of course, but the point still stands. We got you. Good one.
Sexist,
she said
rhetoric. He said you could do anything. Grab a woman by the pussy. Who cares? Like stuff like
not what he said.
That, and I think that deterred women from the Republican Party in general. And I'm not saying that the party.
Oh, so women are stupid is what this woman is saying. Women are stupid and don't know how to do research. And so when they hear lies, they just believe them. That's this woman's position.
That, and I think that deterred women from the Republican Party in general. And I'm not saying that the party itself has an issue with misogyny, but there are certain figureheads that have said not the best things about women, and that has kind of steered them away.
Gen Z has only had really one Republican candidate to vote for.
So then how do you know what did or did not cause that candidate?
In their entire life, and that's been Donald Trump. It's true. So I think that maybe in the future there's going to be a shift, but it's one person who's gone forward in the ticket.
Would you have been?
What is that even? What is the purpose of you stating that? I don't understand what point you're trying to make with that. So if there was more presidents, then women's telling you that you're allowed to touch them becomes good, and if it's not, then it's bad? What? Make it make sense.
More likely to vote for a Republican if the candidate was Nikki Haley?
No.
Yeah, see,
exactly. So what exactly? What the fuck are we talking about then?
I grew up, I think the town is like 89% conservative, so I mean, it's a very like right-wing area. And even then, I mean, the teachers were liberal. I mean, there was a lot of liberal students, obviously, as statistics show, mainly from the women, but men are tired of this. They want to see a strong nation. They want to grow up and they want to have families and they want to live in normalcy. And they're seeing this other revolution take place that they're totally against because it's opposed to everything that we stand for. If this other revolution from the left takes over, everything that we want, it's not going to be mainstream. We're going to get the total opposite.
It might not exist. That's the difference. If we are in power, your weird shit can exist. Just keep it out of the mainstream. If you guys are in power, then we don't even get to have normal life in our own homes. And of course, it's the other side that's like, oh, Donald Trump is going to deport all brown people. Like, who fucking told you that? Who told you that? Starfear said, I'm more offended about the time he went and said that women belonged on their knees. Because he said that on national TV, not when he didn't think he was being watched. Fair enough. I don't remember that specifically, but fair reasoning. And said that's not why women make the decisions they do. Oh, please tell me more.
Takes over everything that we want. It's not going to be mainstream. We're going to get the total opposite. And what we see is normal is going to be replaced by what they see as normal.
Excuse me, I'm so sorry, but the question was about why women have become more liberal.
And so I said we only had one president.
You guys both immediately started talking about men. I think that is an example in itself about why more women are leaning more liberal.
To be fair, he asked why that's not the case with men.
Yeah. I can't really
speak. Stupid. The question was, why do you think men aren't like the women? And then she gets mad that we're talking about men.
For women, but I would assume, women are different. The way they think, the way they feel. I mean, obviously,
she looks like the Temu version of Sophie Turner.
How do I put this? How do I be optical about this? It's like,
without offending the liberals, because if I was just around normal people, then I'd be able to just talk. Shout out to Austin Edwards over on Kick. Welcome to the party. Good to see ya.
In an ideal world where everything is perfect, do you think that women strive to work? Out of curiosity.
Strive to work.
Like they have an ambition to work. They literally like as a man, I have a drive to want to fight.
Absolutely,
I want to work.
Absolutely,
So,
I want to work until I die.
I want to work until I die, says the 20-year-old. I want to work until I die. Honey, I promise you, nobody wants to work until they die. Austin Edwards asks if I'm voting Trump. I already did. Trump 2024. What about you, Austin? What are you voting, or who are you voting for? It's wild.
Okay,
but there's ambition.
Yeah,
women
buddy.
are ambitious and strong and fearless, and it's not about I feel like that in itself is a misogynist connotation, that you're thinking that women.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah, I didn't even think of that. She probably doesn't even have a job. She probably works 20 hours a week while she's in class. And yet but yeah, no, definitely. I'm glad that our poll ended with 65% of you saying, no, Gen Z is not good for politics.
Don't have that drive or that ambition.
Statistically, though,
Jackie, you're an ambitious woman. You're a business owner.
Yeah, you
you own a nonprofit. You're the CEO.
Well, she's had to.
But I had to. This is actually for survival.
This is actually for
survival. She was
so I didn't want to
driven
do this.
so.
I didn't want to do this.
In an ideal world,
I would be married with children in an ideal world. And I'd be very happy because I wouldn't be slaving away for a corporation or an organization.
I want to be married and have children. That's
right.
But I'm going to be married to a guy who I can choose to work if I want.
Doesn't mean that I don't have drive or ambition in my career, in my professional life.
When you grow up, do you want a family?
Oh, I've been wanting a family since I was 14.
Perfect. And you want to work as well, right?
Again, perfect. That's the right answer that I want you to have.
Only
Oh, I've been wanting a family since I was 14.
Perfect. And you want to work as well, right? Or
no. I would love to be a stay-at-home mom. I would love to.
The big lie. You can do it all, ladies. You can do it all.
Be a homemaker and a wife. I would love to be able to live on a homestead and go milk my cow and take the eggs out of the chicken coop and have one baby in the belly and on my hip and another toddler coming behind me. That's my dream, but I can't fucking do that because the way the economy is set up is I'm forced to work. I'm forced to get an education, a higher education, a college degree in order to make enough money that I can be financially independent and afford my own home or my own rent or my own gas or my
at least as of the past 4 years.
My own groceries, my own insurance. And it's extremely difficult to do that. And it's very isolating as a woman when you have to do all of that all on your own and you can't find somebody that you can outsource some of those chores and financial responsibilities like you would with a spouse. So no, being a single working woman absolutely sucks. It's the worst thing ever.
Woman, man, trans, binary. I'm pretty sure no matter what you identify as somebody who hates your fucking job.
Hate it.
And I don't even hate my job. It's just I don't want to do work. I don't want to do work. Nobody does.
Working woman absolutely sucks. It's the worst thing ever. I hate it. I would go back to the 1950s in a second just so I wouldn't have to deal with this shit.
You're talking about a traditional nuclear family where the woman doesn't work in a married household with kids.
And statistically, that was the case.
You're a single woman who isn't married with kids yet.
So I'm for because of the way it is.
What is again? Why you're just saying things? What even does that mean? She said she wants to.
Most women were married by the age of 21 up until the 1970s.
I think it's a woman's choice. Before that, it was societally encouraged to marry young.
Yeah, and it was better for women mental health wise long term to be able to go into that long term committed relationship and have the established family instead of being forced to slave away for a corporation that doesn't like you, doesn't care about you, makes you sit under fluorescent lights for 8, 9, 10 hours a day. You get a lunch break, you get health insurance, but do you have somebody who loves you staring at you every day like your child? No, it's horrible. I would much rather be with my own children and my own husband and do all of my work for them and make sure that they're taken care of because it's a loving relationship.
There you go. Tell her. Starsphere said, my opinion on the subject is we are being offered a choice between a cat turd and a dog turd, and we are told we have to eat a turd sandwich. Yes, we've all seen that episode of South Park as well. Aguanta X said, as JVP said, well, at the time, you can have whatever you want, but you can't have everything. Choose wisely. Yep. You're good, Austin. Welcome to the party. Glad you are not a troll. Let's give a big shout out to Austin over on Kick. I was like, I think you're the first one who's actually come here on Kick and has not been a troll or somebody being like, hey, I can do editing for you. As well. I mean, I guess if you're not, crashing your Bugatti, then nobody cares what's going on Kick, other than Austin. But glad you are here. They're children, right? They're children. Yeah, Austin said Kick is mostly a bunch of idiots doing dumb shit. My homie moved here from Facebook and I followed. There you go. Well, I'm actually speaking of which, they are changing the prices at StreamYard, and because we don't really get anybody on Twitch or Kick or Instagram or any of these places, I'm going to be downgrading to the lower plan. Everything is going to be exactly the same for you guys on YouTube, but we're going to be missing some places. But Zippy, don't worry. I'm assuming you're watching the replay. Rumble is staying on the table. All right, diving back in here.
Do you have somebody? I would much rather be with my own children and my own husband and do all of my work for them and make sure that they're taken care of because it's a loving relationship.
Katie, what do you think about this?
Like what?
You have kids, yeah?
I have a kid.
Are you a trad wife? Would you say?
No, I'm a single mom who got railed by Tyrone.
I am.
Nose leaking.
I am so
Wait, is she? I forget if she was the liberal or a conservative, but
severely ambitious. Always have been. I am just that type.
You want 6
person.
kids?
No.
So Austin asked if I voted Trump last time, and so many of you will know the answer. That no, I did not. Unfortunately, I was not really paying attention to politics very much until around 2016. And then, I just started paying attention to the mainstream media, and I thought that was good enough. I was like, I'll watch Fox News and MSNBC and CNN, and I'll get all the information. I know better now, but of course that led me to believe that Donald Trump was the worst thing ever, and I was a Bernie bro. Then of course the DNC screwed over Bernie, and I was in the position where I felt like if Donald Trump won, that the world was going to end. So unfortunately, the most shameful thing I've ever done is cast that vote in 2016 for Hillary Clinton. And because that was so awful, I told myself never, ever, 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 ever again will I vote against anybody. I will only ever vote for somebody that I actively want in office, and I probably would have been all right voting for him in 2020, but I was still scared. And even on Saturday when I went and did the early voting for this election, I was very confident when I cast that Hillary vote, and I was very, very wrong. So I think I made the right choice, but you never know. You never know. But I mean, Kamala can't be the right answer, right? Okay, so this girl's conservative. Let's see. Single mom, ambitious. Let's see. Before we go there, Gomteg said being a mom is a full-time job with mandatory overtime if you're doing it right. That's a good caveat, if you're doing it right. Even though my wife has the option to work, we both know that the kids come first unless it's an absolute emergency. It's like, a family. Crazy idea. Starspear's having trouble here. So the 80s feminist in me is gagging. I have no problem with traditional wives. I also have no problem with women who want equal opportunity and equal pay in the workforce when it's relevant. I have no tolerance for women who try to shit on men and reverse the sexism. Yep, absolutely. Shout out to K Roach. Welcome to the party. Good to see you. So don't send your kids to Caesar and be surprised when you get back Romans. Ooh, that's a bar right there, sir. That is a bar right there. Dilly too. I love it. Welcome to the party. Well, that's the other thing stay-at-home moms do is give their husband a reason to be ambitious and make what they really think they are worth. Video games and the bar life won't get you there. Nope, not quite. And that's so I'm not willing to go as far as say being a stay-at-home mom is the hardest job that there ever was. Like that's kind of into this territory where it's like, bitch, you ain't working on a fucking oil rig. But that doesn't mean that we don't still have the utmost respect for what you do. Let's just stay in your lane and respect it for what it is instead of trying to make it a man thing. It's your thing. Own it and do it well. Do it right. All right, let's see what we got here.
Always have been. I am just that type.
You want 6
A person.
kids?
No. That's so crazy. No. I've always been extremely ambitious. I'm trying to be top of my class, everything. I work full time now. I work night shift. I'm exhausted. My husband works full time. I'm trying to take care of my kid. I'm trying to keep house. I'm trying to keep all my animals alive. I
want to keep doing it until I die.
I'm exhausted.
Oh, she's exhausted.
We live kind of paycheck to paycheck. We got a little in the savings, but that's where it is. We make really good money that, 10, 15 years ago would have landed us in a very comfortable position.
Not anymore. K-Road said, C.S. Lewis says, quote, the homemaker is the career for which all other careers exist. My wife is a stay-at-home mom. It's difficult to provide for children and a wife on one income, but it is well worth it. There you go, guys. Doing it the right way. Be the change you want to see in the world.
That, 10, 15 years ago would have landed us in a very comfortable position. But now we're working our butts off. My husband works 100+ hours a week. I work 3 night shifts in a row. I wish I could work part-time. I wish.
And like, guys, when you say like, hey, it's not that expensive to have kids, it's a lot more expensive than not having kids. I do not have I don't have the drive for that. And I mean, arguably the kids would give that to me, but I don't have the drive for that. I wish
I could just stay home with my baby. And I wish I could. I'm very ambitious and I just want to have the option.
Here's the other thing. At first I was like, oh, single mom. Oh, she must be da-da-da-da. But then we're listening. And even though it seems like she got remarried now, but even though it seems like she is, again, in this more modern woman where I want to work, I want to be ambitious, I want to do this. It's still coming from a feminine place. And like Wamtek was talking about, it's coming from the perspective of the kids come first. The kids come first. That is your purpose.
And I wish I could. I'm very ambitious and I just want to have the option.
Listen to how, the femininity in her voice versus Queen Bee over here.
In my point,
my question.
I'll let you cook. And my point is simply that I think on average, women seek that comfort. They seek that security. They want that good man who can take care of most of the hard parts. And women that don't, I think it's because of our society. It's broken. You go through a bad experience or whatever, and you think that you have to do all on your own. And I think like that, whatever. But I think in an ideal world, women would love that comfort. They'd be like Barbie and they'd just be doing their thing, having their kids and whatever they enjoy.
In America today, is life
really quick, short aside. I don't know if you guys heard, but apparently Margot Robbie gave birth to a boy. And people on Twitter are legitimately being like, oh no, this is so bad. Now her son isn't going to be able to understand the feminist world that was brought out by Barbie. Like, what? You realize that's a real person, right? Like Barbie was a character based off of a toy. Insane. People are insane. K-Roach said, sending your kids to the state and abdicating that responsibility to the government isn't the answer. Agreed. Contact said, it's adapt or die these days, and I'm glad I have something that pushes me to adapt instead of throw my hands up and settle. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, right? I mean, it never ends. It never ends. It never ends.
Thing, having their kids and whatever they enjoy.
in America today, is life easier for men or for women?
I don't think there's a hierarchy anymore in this day and age.
I agree. I believe it's still based on how hard you work. If you have two candidates, one male, one female, and one works harder, that one that works harder is going to be more successful 10 out of 10.
Yes, we do have equal opportunity under law.
But, certain people are trying to erode the rights of women and,
societally speaking, it might be a little harder to answer that question, only because women do face oftentimes sexism, whether that be in the workplace or in general. There is kind of some dissonance, societally speaking.
I think women have it easier, to be honest. I really do. More women go to college than men. It is actually easier for women to get employed in white-collar jobs than men. I think that there is a lot of court discrimination against men, especially in divorce court. A woman is much more likely to get custody than her now ex-husband. So I think that actually the framework of the law has tipped in the favor of women.
Unquestionably. That's not really up for question. That's very obvious.
For the most part, there's equal opportunity. But obviously when it comes to DEI policy, it's like women are kind of seen as, I don't know about
better.
I'd say a minority, but they're seen as disadvantaged because of our past history. So they're given more leverage in the 21st century because of that. So you'll see women, typically, I don't want to say favored, but more often than not, given that leverage wherever they are.
Do either the other Democrats here think there's any truth to that side of things, or do you lean more towards Stella's point of view?
I think wage gap and equal pay is still something.
The wage gap! She said the wage gap. Bruh. I was a never Trumper in 2015. Who knew that the wage gap wasn't real? What are we doing?
Something that we're not equal on. And I think that
So somebody ask her why. Ask her why there's a wage gap. Ask her why.
Brings a certain disadvantage to women.
Why?
I also think that, yes, there are more opportunities available now, but it's still hard to reach that barrier. It's still hard to cross it. So in the workplace, I think women are still discriminated against. I think that there's more sexism and misogyny. And I do think that women have a more difficult time than men.
No. There's absolutely unique challenges that women face and unique challenges that good one. Spot on. But yeah, there's unique challenges for men. There's unique challenges for women. There's unique challenges for black people. There's unique challenges for white people. Get the fuck over it. Get the fuck over it. Ronnie Brown said the wage gap closes pretty fast when you start to add up benefits. No, the wage gap is that men make significantly less than women. No, I know, but I mean, you could definitely twist the statistics to make it look that way. I think that. Okay, what proof do you got, Stark? What proof you have, Stark?
And I do think that women have a more difficult time than men, especially in the workplace.
Especially?
My
Did
only
she
counter-
just try to come out here and say especially?
A more difficult time than men, especially in the.
She said especially. She said especially.
And I do think that women have a more difficult time than men, especially in the workplace.
My only counter I want to say to that is men still on average are more likely to be the ones to die in the workplace.
I was going to bring that up too.
Yep.
When you look at the numbers at the end of the day, men are more likely to die at work. They're more likely to kill themselves. They're more likely to have depression. And I think
No, use those facts. They don't help my argument. Okay, fine. Jesus. Y'all saw that? Damn. He was like, hey, whoa. There's peanut butter over here. All right, then eat it, motherfucker. Definitely depends on the workplace. Okay, Roach said, Starfire. Oh my God. I keep wanting to say Starfire. I don't know why. Reverse the same towards you. Suck it up. Pay for your own kids. They aren't my responsibility. Abolish the 16th Amendment. Yikes. Any film said women have a rougher time in the workplace because of other women. Facts.
to kill themselves. They're more likely to have depression. And I think based on the numbers, you can't say that men have it easier.
How do you think Democrats view women in a way that's different from the way Republicans view women?
I feel like right now, Democrats look at being a woman as a costume.
Is this?
Oh, Democrats look at being a woman as a costume. Facts.
It's fair. We've had allusions to trans.
Oh, so I did have it right. Except with the S. It's definitely Starfire now. But that looks like it says Star Sphere.
Gender stuff happening throughout.
We look at the legislation here in Michigan. They're changing the phrase. They've removed mother from all of our legislation and replaced it with birthing person.
Birthing
What do you guys think?
persons with bonus holes.
Look at that, Democrats.
I think it's inclusive, and anything we could do to be more inclusive is good.
I don't think much of it.
To me, it's really not that big of a deal. I'm not going to make a big deal out of it.
I think that.
So if you don't care and other people, this is something that never makes sense to me. Well, it happens all the time, and I'm struggling to find a specific example. But all the time, you have people arguing about a thing where one person actually cares and the other person doesn't really care, but is deciding to fight anyway. So if you don't care that, how do you spell sphere? Go ahead and spell sphere. What's she saying?
To me, it's really not.
Oh, yeah, if it's not a big deal to you, and it is a big deal to the other people, why not just give them the thing that they want, and then they'll be more likely to give the thing that you want that we don't really care about. Shout out to Joe Mama. I see a PH there. How do you pronounce that word? Because there's a PH. Hun. Welcome to the party. Am said women should be judging other women harshly. The idea of live and let live only applies if your bad parenting choices don't influence a societal standard. Fair. However, the things that women judge other women on harshly are not the things that will lead to better lives. They judge on, whatever, your nails aren't done and your man ain't this and all that stuff. I get it now, Starfire. I get it now, but you can't tell me that with a name like that I am, that you could be like, you don't know how to read. Phonetically, that says Star Sphere. I'm happy to call you whatever you want. I'm just saying, don't get snippy with me when your name don't fucking make sense. Glumsix said, I appreciate the social safety net as much as anyone, but it's to the point now where we're all basically forced into the safety net. Independence is all but outlawed today. Yep.
Rats.
I don't think much of it.
To me, it's really not that big of a deal. I'm not going to make a big deal out of it.
Then why are you dying on this? Why are you choosing to die on this hill then? Just let it go.
I think that inclusion is important. when you think about like the overarching rules or laws that we've crafted, it used to be all he, and then it became he or she, and then it became they, and then I just think that it's like more inclusive of those people. I think that all Americans deserve to be represented somehow in our government.
Exactly, Dylan. It's not a big deal, but yet you're digging your heels in. Why? Clearly, it's a big deal to other people. So if it's not a big deal to you, then why are you're just fighting to fight? Pick your battles, children.
I think that all Americans deserve to be represented somehow in our government.
Let it go, let it go. Can't take it anymore. The cold doesn't bother me anyway.
And the
hardstyle version of that song by the Tweakers is fire.
All Americans deserve to be represented somehow in our government. And the fact that we're progressing to more inclusive language, I have no problem with it because like it doesn't change anything in the like laws or the legislature we already have.
Okay, then let it go. Let it go.
I think that it's a move to be more inclusive so that more Americans feel like they are being heard. It's not excluding.
But that's not how it works, and it's hurting other people. So again, if you don't care, then why are you digging your heels in? And I believe her. I believe that she hasn't actually thought this stuff through. And when pressed for an answer, she's like, well, I guess for birthing persons, for the transes. I believe that she believes that. It's just a stupid thing to say. A stupid thing to breathe. Need to touch grass sometimes, for sure. Wait, don't we all? Don't we all? Starsfire said, perhaps we should just do what the Australian people do and call everyone mate. I mean, I don't have an issue with it, but you know, people just get over it. Their words. Pedre says, if you're only one person, I'm not calling you they. There you go. I was hoping you would put a pronoun in this sentence. That would have been funny, but I feel you.
So that
I don't mind that shit. I really don't care if you want to be a he or a she or what. I just do not care. But because of the fact that these gendered pronouns are only when you're talking about the person that's not there. Again, why do you give a fuck? Why do you give a fuck what I call you when you're not there? Because if I'm talking to you, I'll use your fucking name. Or I'll say, hey, you. They literally want to control what you say about them when they're not there.
I think that it's a move to be more inclusive so that more Americans feel like they are being heard. It's not excluding anyone.
But they're literally erasing the word woman.
Hey,
from our
Mom,
laws.
how do you feel about it?
I go back and forth with it.
I love how she did that. She's like, hey, Mom. Hey, Mama. How do you feel about that?
Erasing the word woman.
Hey,
from our
Mom,
laws.
how do you feel about it?
I go back.
She's good. She is good. She is going places.
With it because on one side, I do completely understand the inclusivity. I do. I don't want to make people angry, but also as a mother, I am not a huge fan of it. Just because I feel like.
Say it. You're allowed to be upset. You're allowed to be upset. You're allowed to be upset. Notice how the liberal women have no problem yelling and screaming and getting all snarky and twisting up their face about anything. But the conservative woman has a rational thing to say. And she's all mousy because if I say this, people are going to be mad at me. And I don't want anybody to be mad at me. And again, some of the blame does go on her. You're getting to that age where you're an adult and you should be able to stand on business. But also, there's the society that has taught her that the things you think are bad, you're a bad woman.
I don't want to make people angry, but also as a mother.
That actually, like I just said, because they think. There we go. Okay, we're back. Yeah, like I just said, because they are brainwashed to believe that to think these things is to be a bad person. That is why. And you can hear it in her voice. She thinks she's a bad person for saying these things.
I don't want to make people angry, but also as a mother, I am not a huge fan of it. Just because I feel like motherhood to me is a very big thing of womanhood. There are absolutely a whole bunch of other things that make a strong woman. But I feel like erasing the word mother just kind of erases a part of that.
Biological women who, quote, identify as men who...
There you go. Listen to the difference. Listen to the difference.
Mother just kind of erases a part of that.
Biological women who, quote, identify as men who give birth. Again, that's such a small sector of the population that to change the language to cater to them is insane.
I think the intention was to cater towards everyone, not just one.
That's what they want you to think. That's what they want you to think. Take 1 second and actually think about that. If that's what they wanted, then why are we here? If that's what they wanted, then why are we here? Clearly it didn't work. Even if that was the intention, clearly it didn't work. So what the fuck are you saying?
Is insane.
I think the intention was to cater towards everyone, not just one specific person.
Yeah.
Does everyone here think that the intention is coming from a positive, good place, or no?
I would think so.
I think it's coming from an inclusive place.
Yeah, there's impact versus intent.
And you don't think it's just political,
stupid.
really?
For 0.1% of the vote, it's like, really? Like, what else are we going to change? You know, it's a slippery slope. You want to satisfy everyone, make everyone happy because of how they identify, how they feel. At what extent do you stop? At what extent is it too far or too radical?
James?
Hell yeah, and I'm watching foes. So the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Indeed it is. And said, spit it out. Nobody else will defend you. Call me a birthing person, chest feeder, menstruator, uterus haver, and see how fast the back of my hand becomes besties with your face. Right in the face. Yeah, that's how you. But again, like, I mean, maybe you're different. But I think people in general, when you're at that age and you're starting to find yourself, as they say, it makes sense that you're not that confident in these positions, especially if they're the right ones, because everybody is telling you that they're wrong. It's exactly a Starfire. She'll grow out of it, hopefully. But that is the hope. That at that age, I think we were all a little bit like, I mean, I wasn't, but I was an asshole. I was a militant atheist asshole telling people that they shouldn't believe in God because I'm right and they're wrong. So that's the other side of it. But you know, I wouldn't take it that way. Why is it insulting? Why is it insulting? Oh, you mean to call those things? Yeah. No, but yeah. It's definitely insulting. But I mean, in terms of her and growing out of it, I think Starfire is absolutely right.
James Carville recently said,
"Oh, James Carville,
extent is it too far or too radical?"
James Carville recently said, "The Democratic Party has too many preachy females." Why do you think he said that?
Because he's right, and it's true.
Do you guys agree? And any examples of what he was talking about come to mind for anyone?
AOC.
Let's start with the Democrats on this. Alec.
I don't honestly. I hadn't heard that quote before. I don't think it's a very warranted observation.
What are you doing?
I don't necessarily understand what we're preaching. I mean, obviously, as Democrats, we have our own views as a party as a whole, and I don't think the women in that group steer away from the Democratic norm.
What the fuck are you saying?
The Republican Party with Marjorie Taylor Greene or any other strong woman in power. I think that is more of a feminism issue or a misogyny issue than it is a Democratic Party issue.
Okay, let's try. I'm going to try to listen to her again, but we're going to put it at a real speed. Let's put it up to 1.5 and see if we can understand what the fuck she's saying.
I don't necessarily understand what we're preaching. I mean, obviously, as Democrats, we have our own views as a party as a whole, and I don't think the women in that group steer away from the Democratic norm.
You can say the same thing about.
No idea what you just said. There's definitely norms, and some of the norms are normal, and some norms don't go to the norm, but Norm Macdonald is pretty funny.
The Republican Party
away from the Democratic norm.
You can say the same thing about the Republican Party with Marjorie Taylor Greene or any other strong woman in power. I think that is more a feminism issue or a misogyny issue than it is a Democratic Party issue. I just think that that's a way to target women in the Democratic Party.
Real quick, guys, I just want to test something. It says there's only 2 people here, but I see a bunch of you here. So if you could just to do a test, can you just put a 1 in the chat just so I could see if the numbers are off here or what's going on? Thank you.
Let's take out the female part of it. Does the Democratic Party have a preachiness problem?
I want to vote. Say Kamala makes more sense than the Wish version Sansa. Wow. At least she has something to aspire to, right? At least she has something to aspire to.
Democratic Party.
Let's take out the female part of it. Does the Democratic Party have a...
Of course, that's what the Democrats do. Take out the female part of it.
Way to target women in the Democratic Party.
Let's take out the female part of it. Does the Democratic Party have a preachiness problem?
Yes.
A lot of people do have like observations about the Democratic Party that it's
So again, I would appreciate, guys, if you are here, just let me know and type a 1 or say here in the chat. So I'm just trying to see if the numbers are off. Thank you.
A lot of people do have like observations about the Democratic Party that it's do as I say, not as I do mentality. And so I think that's what one might mean about preachy. As to whether that's true, I don't think it's true at all. I don't think the Democratic Party is preachy.
What do the rest of you think?
Democrats are not performing well with men right now. And I think, them putting out...
Well, except for white dudes for Harris, of course, right? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, no, it's I don't know. It's fucking up. Whatever. I'm here. You guys are here. We're partying. I'm about it. And thank you, of course, for spending your night with me.
What do you think?
No did.
Democrats are not performing well with men right now. And I think, them putting out a female candidate and their whole message is being vote for her because she's a woman and she understands women's issues. What does that say to the men? That's not doing anything to pull men in. So you guys a lot of you wrote off James Carville, but I can't believe I'm defending him as a Republican. If you guys want to win, you should probably listen to him.
I've been preached at by family members because I fall very in between everything. And it's basically, if I say one thing that I believe in, it's, oh, you're a bad person. You're awful. How can you even think things like this? I'm like, no compromise and very much. If you don't believe.
Dylan Tube said white dudes for Harris was an exercise in seeing who you are going to lose respect for. Yup.
How I believe you are an awful, horrible person. They'll start calling you names, racist, transphobic, everything else if you have a little different of an ideal.
I think that's a matter of perspective. I've had the same experience when I talk to a Republican. My dad and brother are both Republicans. And whenever we try to have a debate on policy, I mean, it's the same type of argument. I think that's natural in debate.
I want to take an observation from
Almost spit out my drink.
just our conversation so far, how that's going. Multiple times we've heard people on the conservative side describe the correct system of morality, the family-centered focus, the idea of the nuclear family.
No, not nuclear, the nuclear family. Context. So the Dems are constantly trying to enforce their ideas through intimidation or insulting language. If it's not preachy, it sure as hell is annoying to be around. Agreed. Dylan said, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Jeff Bridges, and Rory O'Malley were shocking reveals. For Trump? Is that what you're saying? Or for white dudes for Harris? I wouldn't. Just by their names, but I have no idea which way they would go. Starsfire said, modern Democrats and moderate Republicans don't bother me at all. I have a problem with extremists on both sides. I said, shit, me too. Oh, for me, yeah. Come on, man. That's just like your opinion, man.
The correct system of morality, the family-centered focus, the idea of the nuclear family as the correct one. I believe you called America or the education system as founded based on a Christian system of government, as Christian ideals, and those ideas of patriotism, of nationalism, of Christianity that should be espoused through our public education system. In the sense of what we've been talking about so far, how is that not preachy? Because I think I've heard more preachiness from the Republican side.
He thought he ate.
He thought he ate, to use the Zoomer language. He thought he ate with that left no crumbs. Nah, bro. Because it's not preachy, because we're saying, here's the thing that works. We have evidence that it works. Let's do the thing that works. And y'all are just like, nah. Okay, why not then? Because we want to be whores. Well, that's not really good for society, though. Well, you're just preaching. What? That's not what those words mean, dude. But let's see if the Republican Zoomers or the conservative Zoomers can handle it.
Because I think I've heard more preachiness from the Republican side just in this room.
Projection. Wait a minute. Chris Pratt is a white dude for Harris? Oh, come on, man. I love Star-Lord.
I've heard more preachiness from...
What do I say to that?
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, one of the Christian values is wait until you're married to have sex. So I feel, you know, there's a lot of things.
Weird. Oh my God, that's so weird. You're so weird for thinking about it. Oh my God, that's weird.
So I myself, obviously, I'm not just preaching it. I actually believe in that. I'm actually going to work hard. But in terms of other Republicans, I mean, yeah, there are a lot of grifters in the GOP, and the youth need to fix that. The young Republicans need to rise up and replace these people who I think are preachy in the same way that the Democrats have this issue. We need real leaders to show the GOP, you know, how to be a true Christian, how to be conservative, and lead by example. And I think we're doing that. We're seeing young people rise up, run for positions, take power, and be that example.
Well, our next subject is, what do you kids do for fun? So,
what do you do for fun?
Apparently,
I'm actually interested in this. Oh, okay, good. Okay, there we go. Okay, that's what I wasn't sure. I was like, yeah. Oh, gotcha. Okay, so I missed that. Bet. All right, yeah. Shout out to Star-Lord. There we go. Oh, yeah, that's right. He got in trouble for that, right? Yeah. I mean, you know, Christianity, but I'll take Christian conservatism over liberal Hollywoodism any day. What was I just gonna say? There's definitely a lot. You know, any you know, established alternative media pundit will tell you that they have multiple celebrities who are openly for the Democrats, openly for Biden and Harris, who will DM them and be like, "Oh, good job. I'm glad you're saying it because I can't." When really,
loser.
You're a loser. Stand on business, and you won't have nothing to be afraid of. Say it with your chest. I was gonna say something. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, what do these kids do for fun? I just learned that, like, Zoomers never, like, did parties like we did. Like, you know, when you're in high school and your friends' parents would go away for the weekend and then they would throw a party. Right? They just don't do that. Or, like, you go to college and it's like crazy parties at somebody's house and you go and there's like 700 kids in a cramped basement and everybody is I mean, it was one thing. It was one thing when I was a senior in college and the kids started playing Pong with water in the cups. It was a badge of honor that you drank that dirty ass beer with the hair and the grime from all the ball. You wash it in the water cup, but you play it with beer and you drink that cup. It was bad enough when they replaced all of that to water cups, and then you just take a sip of your beer when you make a cup. That was bad enough. But now they don't even party. So this is actually a great question. What the fuck do you do for fun? I'm guessing we're just going to get video games and anime. And video games and anime. And let's see, these dudes are pretty tall, so probably having sex, but except for, you know, church boy over here.
Well, our next subject is, what do you kids do for fun? So, apparently, your generation is having less sex, partying less, doing drugs less.
Told you.
So, why do you guys think that this generation is another way I've seen it written about is engaging in fewer risk-taking behaviors?
I don't think that we're engaging in fewer risk-taking behaviors. I think we're more aware of our digital footprint. And I think that because we grew up in social media, we know to conceal or to not share those aspects on the internet.
But this data.
Oh, really? Oh, really? So you're not the generation that literally live streams them doing illegal shit? That's not your generation? That's totally the millennials. You guys are the ones taking selfies with duck faces, right? We're the ones that are out here on live being like, yo, we're committing crimes right now. Taxidermy. Does it work like that? Somebody, yo, hook me up. Somebody say fucking taxidermy.
To conceal or to not.
Yeah, we need to listen to this whole thing again. She really believes this. She really believes this, and he feels a man of his word. So come on, just write the word, please. But yeah. Hey, there we go, $100. We got it. We got it. We got it. I'm kidding. You guys are good. You don't need to do that. But yeah, listen to the way that she's saying, like, no, our generation, we know about social media. We're not gonna, just post things that are bad for us. Like, what do you think this is? It's such a perfect example of the, I don't want to say Dunning-Kruger, that's not fair, but just the immaturity to think that you're at the peak of your maturity. Like, oh, well, we're the progressive generation. Like, oh my God.
Digital footprint. We're engaging in fewer risk-taking behaviors. I think we're more.
Sorry. I want the whole thing.
Behaviors.
I don't think that we're engaging in fewer risk-taking behaviors.
You are, though. Those are the stats. That's not up for question. It's not happening. But go on.
Fewer risk-taking behaviors.
I don't think that we're engaging in fewer risk-taking behaviors. I think we're more aware of our digital footprint.
Hey, yo! What are you doing? Thank you so very, very much, sir. So what are we gonna do? I don't want to wake him up. Where are we? We got visual. Going in for the kill. Thank you so very much. Look at him with his peanut butter, his treats, a whole bowl of them. Look at it. Thank you so very, very much, sir. I have no idea why you did that, but I am not looking a gift horse in the mouth. And of course, that makes you the new sponsor of the stream. Everybody put indie film in the chat. Oh my goodness. Thank you, sir. Thank you very, very, very much.
Engaging in fewer risk-taking behaviors. I think we're more aware of our digital footprint. And I think that because we grew up in social media, we know to conceal or to not share those aspects on the internet.
But this data isn't coming from scrolling through people's Instagram photos and counting the number of kids with cups. It's like self-reported data on like kids who are saying like they just compare and they find this generation is drinking less and having less sex.
I'll take a shot. I feel like part of it too. I mean, we are.
No pun intended. He said, I'll take a shot. I said, me too. Shout out to Indie Film. Not only the first supporter of this channel, but one of the biggest. And I really do appreciate it. And, Funkmaster is always coming through. So with the memberships, I hopefully you are okay with sharing the sponsor spot. But guys, I cannot thank you enough. And it's not just about the money. I know that you guys really believe in me. And I'm not going to get all mushy and gay. But I love you guys. It's just nobody cares like you guys do. And wow. Thank you. I really, 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 really do appreciate it. Thank you so much.
this generation is drinking less and having less sex.
I'll take a shot. I feel like part of it too. I mean, we are that generation that grew up watching Teen Mom on TV.
Yeah. True.
And you know, I'm 26, but the amount of friends that I know that I've lost due to fentanyl over the past few decades. I mean, it's not safe to do drugs anymore. There used to
That's a fantastic point. In my day, you could snort whatever came across the door. And you'd be all right. It might hurt a little bit. It might not do exactly what you wanted it to do. But I absolutely, one day when I was living in a house with a bunch of people, I woke up one day, go to take Marty out, and my door is here. I'm walking down the hallway. My friend's bedroom door is here, and his friends are sitting at the table chopping up drugs. And they're like, hey, you want a line? It's like 9 a.m. But I got the day off. Whatever. I'll take one line of blow. Whatever. One line. It was not blow. It was ketamine. But you could do that then. You could do that 12 years ago. You could just walk into a room and snort something that somebody was offering you. These days, you can't even do drugs safely anymore. What has this country come to?
No, over the past few decades. I mean, it's not safe to do drugs anymore. There used to be a time where people could do drugs and, you know, have fun and not really worry so much. But now it's like that time's gone. You can't dabble around it. You make one mistake, you make one bad decision, and your life is gone now.
Speaking as a woman, I wouldn't be caught dead at a bar alone drinking. I'm scared.
Yeah.
Yep. That's so crazy. That's so crazy to me because I've definitely gone clubbing completely by myself and have had no issues. I think that maybe there's a perception that it is really dangerous. But to go to your point about, you know, Gen Z having less sex than the boomers, for example, or Gen X,
or millennials. I mean, millennials are right up there. And I mean, I think I think if you look at the numbers, there probably is a downturn with millennials because of the proliferation of the dating apps. But I mean, we still got it. We still did our thing way before. And as a short king, oh man, dude, I do way better before dating apps.
To your point about, you know, Gen Z having less sex than the boomers, for example, or Gen X, I would think probably it's because men and women are not getting together because of political divides, because of interest divides, right? I think that...
Well, there you go again. The purpose of the question, what do you guys do for fun? Because all of pop culture is politics. Whereas we had music and MTV and sports and everything is politics. Sports is politics, music is politics, makeup is politics, everything is politics. So what is it that you do?
Getting together because of political divides, because of interest divides, right? I think that young women and young men just don't relate to each other anymore in the same way that maybe we had cohesion between the sexes, maybe prior to social media, maybe prior to the liberal hegemony that has really divided the beliefs of men and women. We just don't get one another.
So let's put up I'm going to put up a poll here and going to be rather specific. Do you think that dating apps are the main cause of gender relations going down? Not going down, being less frequent. Because you'd be like, oh, he's going down, you know what I mean? It's going down. Frequent. You think the main cause of that? Let me know what you think.
Raise your hand if you are on a dating app or met your current partner / boyfriend, girlfriend on a dating app. Raise your hand.
So we got 2 out of what is it? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2 out of 7. Okay, well, she's got a husband. He is saving himself. I think she said. I feel like she said something about being in a relationship. I want to hear from her.
Wow, only 2 of you. How'd you meet your husband? Work. Okay. And you didn't raise
old school work.
Your hand either. Why aren't you on the apps?
In person?
It's just not something that I really am trying to prioritize right now. Education comes first for me right now.
Oh! You're going to be hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt with a perfectly great degree that nobody gives a fuck about, including yourself, and no man. Oh, baby girl, we're trying to tell you. We're trying to warn you. So many Gen X women, so many millennial women felt exactly what you think right now and destroyed their lives. Destroyed the opportunity for them to have it all or to have anything that is worth having. And yet you are just doing exactly the same thing. Make it make sense.
Okay. How'd you meet your boyfriend?
My education comes first right now.
I met him on Tinder, but if any older generation asks, I say
Whore!
we met at a party, which I think is weird.
You think they can't handle hearing that you met on Tinder?
Yeah, honestly, yeah. At U of M specifically, there's a huge online dating culture.
Oh.
And so it's almost like the norm to be on a dating app.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why it's silly for you to be like, oh my God, people are going to look at me weird. One post said, nah, social media beat out dating apps on the main cause for why relationships don't work out as much. Okay. I don't necessarily disagree with that, but I was more specifically talking about the attitudes that women have towards men and men have towards women. So that's fair enough. What else we got here? Dylan Soup. So she's in a relationship with her education. Her baby will be a diploma. Mom's like said that girl is falling for the trap. It's honestly kind of sad. Like I said, I mean, I don't necessarily blame her fully, but at some point you gotta wake up. And hey, I didn't do it till I was 26, 27, 28, 20, 26, something like that. But also, I spent 5 years doing drugs when it was still safe to do drugs. We literally ordered pressed Xanax bars in the mail from a guy in the Philippines and snorted them. We're fine. So I had 5 years of doing that before I was paying attention to politics. What's your excuse? What's your excuse? Does she have Asian parents? Sure seems like it. Answer there for millennials, but Zoomers don't go outside organically anymore. And young women don't appreciate a good cat call. Yeah, right, in the good old days. Let's see if I can find, Gen Alpha doesn't know how to play outside. There's a video that it's not really anything crazy, but it's just a very unique look at young kids that are trying to not here, or let's try the YouTubes. But it was just very weird where neighbors were like, I think the parents just told these kids to go outside and play, and these kids don't know how to play. They're just standing around and like pretending to do dances and stuff. Okay, I can't find out where it is. But yeah, sad. They do not know how to go outside. They do not know how to play outside. Starsfire said you can find plenty of do-it-yourself homeowners at Lowe's. There you go. Matthew King, welcome to the Did I say hello? I don't remember. Welcome to the party, brother. Either way. So I feel like dating apps made people less likely to settle down now. They're always looking for more. The BBD, the bigger, better deal. Yeah, I think, Unwanted Vote is accurate, saying that social media definitely created a big reason for relationships to end. But I think specifically the attitudes that people have towards the opposite sex, I think along with what Matt is saying here, it's the dating apps that are really doing it. Star said, as a middle-aged woman, I can tell you we don't like the cat calls either. Don't pull that. Hey, speak for yourself. Just speak for yourself. Am is the one who's saying, why not?
Online dating culture.
Oh.
And so it's almost like the norm to be
The only time women like being sexually harassed is when the guy is attractive.
on a dating app.
Okay.
Like I don't know if I have any friends who aren't on a dating app, but I think that if I say that to like an older generation, there's automatically judgment.
Would you date someone?
Who cares? Like that's the other childish part of it. Well, I sound weird. Who gives a fuck? Everybody sounds weird because It's like, bro, kids don't even have imaginations anymore. It's fucking terrifying to me. How we have inventors or even people who think outside the box without a good imagination at a young age. And that's exactly what I was talking about. These kids are just out there and they're just like aimless. It's just like, do something. Make up a game. Throw a pine cone or something. Shout out to Michael Taxiarch. Welcome to the party. Do you do taxidermy by any chance? Because that would be serendipitous. But shout out to Bunkmaster for gifting the membership. Michael, make sure you join the Discord server. Now that you are a member, you get free access to the entire thing instead of just the free chat, which is completely free. I just dropped that link, so all of you should be in the Discord. But if you are a member, let me know and join the Discord. Let me know, and you get full access. All right, diving back in.
Okay.
Like I don't know if I have any friends who aren't on a dating app, but I think that if I say that to like an older generation, there's automatically judgment.
Would you date someone who's voting for Trump, Alex?
I wouldn't have a problem with it. Like there's like, everyone has like difference in values, but like,
it's more, the funny thing is it's more common that you would see a liberal be like, oh no, I can't date a Trump supporter. When in reality, being a liberal is way more of an issue in terms of the values that you hold for a conservative person than the other way around. Unless you're like super far right. It's just it's I'm not saying anything. Like I told you, I'll address you directly if I need to. I'm not saying anything. But yeah, it's
there's like, everyone has like difference in values, but like, it's really like the value, in a relationship, the value you find in the other person as well. Like my parents are like of opposing political views. They are divorced, but politics did not have a role in it. I promise politics did not have like a role in it.
How the fuck do you know? Why do you think that you know enough to say that?
Politics did not have a role in it. I promise politics did not have like a role in it at all.
What about the rest of you? Would anyone here not date someone from the opposite tribe? Oh.
I mean, like,
the reason I wouldn't is not because like it would be a deal breaker. I would be able to date a woman if I did not know that she was liberal, and then it just came out, and I was just like, oh, okay, that you kind of just lean that, like, yeah, whatever. But if you're like a liberal actively, then I'm not going to want to date you because of who you are. Like that's your personality. Whereas, again, there are people who are default liberals where that's not their personality. They might have more liberal thoughts. And same on the other side where, you might be more conservative in your values, but that's not your identity. It's so much more common on the other side for, again, for it to be just all-encompassing. Gontek said, I really started to notice the lack of imagination in the early 2000s. I really think it's a huge reason for why we have the kind of woke shit we do now. Kids were taught what to think and not how to think, to memorize and repeat instead of how to visualize and innovate. Spot on. That is something we need to turn around, and that is why I voted no to give more money to the public school. It's got to get bad enough that people see a reason for change. If we keep kicking the can down the road and be like, oh, let's just throw money at it and make it a little bit better, then nothing is ever going to get fixed. People need to see, oh, this is untenable. And even though I don't know any man that says women like to be catcalled. I mean, maybe some think that, but they don't express it. Yeah. The other thing too, shout out to Akon. He was a little bit of not necessarily the most progressive dude, but he used to be a catcaller guy. And I just never got, I just was, I don't fucking care, but it was just never something I did. And, when I was in that never Trumper liberal, like, well, hey man, why are you doing that? And I actually asked him genuinely. I'm like, well, you realize, like, you ain't going to pick her up. Just like, bro, I'm not trying to pick her up. I'm just trying to look at her. I'm like, fair enough. I'm just trying to see what she looked like. What you look like, girl? Oh, she cute.
In high school, when it didn't matter, like I would date guys who would identify as left wing or Democrat, but like that was very short lived and you're in high school. But let's say post high school, I don't think I have ever dated anybody who identified as left wing ever.
Sam, you ever been stirred by a Democrat?
No, I can't. For me, it's just more of the point of dating is marriage ultimately. And I feel like the biggest thing is how are we going to raise our kids? And if we can't agree on that issue, that I don't see a point there.
Just trying to look.
Wise man.
What? And you are nodding. So the point of dating for you is marriage as well.
Yes, 100%. Do I see myself dating a conservative? No. Do I see myself maybe dating a moderate Republican? Possibly. Obviously, I'm speaking hypothetically. The men I've talked to mainly lean Democrat, but that's mainly because of the circles I surround myself in. I haven't been able to kind of, break that, which is fine. So,
have you guys, the Democrats?
Sound like you're doing great, sweetie. Sounds like all of your worldview is leading you in the perfect direction.
Break that. Which is fine. So,
have you guys, the Democrats, because you're all members of the Michigan Democratic.
I could have sworn he was about to say you're all members of the LGBT community. I'd be like, wait, what? What did I miss? Sorry.
Is the Democrats because you're all members of the Michigan Democratic Club. That's what it's called. Yeah.
Yes.
How many Republican friends?
Am said men don't say that. I said young women don't appreciate a good call. They're not all the same. Creative guys come up with some funny shit, and if they weren't so easily offended, they may laugh instead. I agree. That is not a battle that I'm going to win. So I'm just and again, it was never anything that I had the urge to do personally. But yeah, you're gonna have to have bigger problems before I fucking care. Context said, but shy guys like myself are trying to take down an elk with a scalpel. Well, say it with your chest, boy.
Friends do you have, would you say?
I don't know any Republicans personally at the University of Michigan. I have a lot of close friends who are Republicans back home, but it's just kind of hard to find them on campus.
I got to ask the conservatives this question as well. Like, do you have?
You're joking, right? I just want to make sure we're joking that yeah, I get it. You may not, but you're saying that you want free speech to be curbed for catcalling. Is that what I'm gathering here? Just want to make sure before I give my opinion on that.
Hard to find them on campus.
I got to ask the conservatives this question.
Is it hard to find them because they're hiding? Because they're afraid of what you will do if you find out? Maybe. Some of them are a little bit more rebellious as we go younger and we get into Gen Alpha, and they're not so scared of the woke mob. But are they that hard to find because they're not there? Are they that hard to find because you've created an environment which is maybe arguably legitimately not safe for them? And at best, just not welcoming. Star still waiting on an answer. And so you said, I literally think it might be worth spending a few hours in jail. I just want to make sure we're talking about catcalling, which is speech. And so you're saying that you want people who use their free speech to sit in jail.
It's just kind of hard to find them on campus.
I got to ask the conservatives this question as well. Like, do you have friends who are Democrats?
Oh yeah, tons.
Do you have friends who are Democrats?
When I was in college, yeah, I did. The girls in my sorority. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll tell you.
Do you have friends who are?
I have friends of every.
Yeah, well, you're our wild card participant. I want to talk a little bit about the political culture. Have you ever found yourself holding a political opinion because you feel a pressure to conform to the politics around you?
The liberals will be like, yes, oh my God, somebody finally said it. That's what politics is all about, right?
You're nodding.
All the time.
Called it.
Oh.
All the time. I can't. Unless
she feels bad. She is afraid to say what she thinks because she has been told that what she thinks makes her a bad person. That is what she thinks. That is why she's afraid.
You're nodding.
all the time.
Oh.
All the time. I can't. Unless I find
Like where, like in what kind of places? Like when?
at work, at school, just out in public with family, everything, like just pretty much everywhere I go.
What do you think?
That's sad. That's sad. And again, it's just as unpopular for anybody to be a fan of Trump these days than anyone. I mean, it wasn't as bad as maybe it was a few years ago, as people are starting finally to wake up. But the fact of the matter is that this is really happening. This really has had an effect on these kids.
I think is like your most socially toxic political opinion. And
I want a family. That's her most toxic opinion.
why don't you say it for the internet right now?
Do it.
Trans issues.
Trans stuff. Mm-hmm.
I don't bring up politics in most situations. I just kind of nod and I don't agree, but I'm not going to say anything.
Because I'm afraid that people won't like me or that people will downright hate me. That's what we are talking about.
What?
Somebody catcalls you and you would both go to jail?
What?
That sounds like, with all due respect, the dumbest thing I've ever heard anybody say ever. Quantag said, which would be more beneficial for a conservative? A conservative wife with a woke husband or a woke wife with a conservative husband? Conservative husband. For sure. For sure. Yeah, the left definitely does not want your opinion. Which would be less. Yeah, I still think the when you have men and women, it's a natural thing that the woman is going to conform to the man. In dating, it's the opposite way around. But once you get to marriage, then going to say the conservative husband, because after the divorce, his life will have the best chance of full recovery. I did not see that one coming. Oh, that's what you're saying? You would assault a catcaller. So then you belong in jail. You get that, right? I live in California. You would definitely go to jail for pepper spraying someone just for catcalling you. I'm just saying I'm willing to pay the price. Yeah, that's violence. That's assault, and that's against the law. So I would suggest that you don't do that and that you suck it up. And as Am says, words are not violence. Violence, however, is indeed violence and is not good.
So I just kind of nod and I don't agree, but I'm not going to say anything.
You were nodding. Can you think of a time when you...
I stand with the great...
I stand with anybody who needs me to stand with them because they're marginalized and I'm a good person.
Can you think of a time when you...
I stand with the great majority of what the Democratic Party aligns with.
Which is what? Articulate that for me, please. Which parts you do align with and which parts don't you?
I don't know if I should say this on television.
It's not television, it's the internet, and nobody gives a fuck about who you are. We already know that you're retarded. We already know that you just follow everybody else. There is nothing you could say that would make you look any worse. Aside from, I guess, advocating violence, really. Michael said, share values is a must for successful marriages. Absolutely. Yeah, words don't hurt. Pepper spray does. Kay Roach said, how is whistling taking away your sense of security? Quote, those who are willing to sacrifice freedom for a sense of security deserve neither. You're goddamn right. Hell yeah. Freedom and liberty above all.
I don't know if I should say this on television.
And again, I know I just said this, but to think that you're that important, that anybody is going to give a shit. Nobody fucking knows who you are.
Oh, whoa, I don't want to say this. Oh, no, I might get in trouble.
From who? You're already on the right side. Not the right side, the correct side. But I shouldn't say this. And I guarantee you it's going to be the most innocuous and typical left-wing position. Let's see.
But I have kind of had mixed feelings about the death penalty. I believe that.
Oh my God! She just said that on television! Mixed feelings about murdering people? You're so self-important. I can't wait for the... Like, she might actually be a cool chick when she realizes, if she realizes, I'm not that important at all. I could make myself important by doing something, but by existing, I'm not that important. I thought I was super important, but I'm not at all important to anybody. Men live in a different reality where they don't have to be concerned that if a person whistling them intends harm. Actually, men are way more likely to be assaulted by a stranger than a woman, and especially if you are my size. I am 5'4". I am 5'4". I am 1,000 times more likely to be assaulted by a man in society than you are. 1,000 times more. So please don't act like our girl here and try to be the victim. You are not a 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 victim. How do you know that? I absolutely have been assaulted on the streets. Projection! Just another woman thinking that they are... Who was talking about solipsism? King, was that you? That is solipsism. This is the perfect example of solipsism. I'm a woman, and I have an argument to make that hinges upon a thing that happened to me, but it only works if it never happened to you. Therefore, it didn't happen to you because I said so. You know what happens when you assume, Star? It makes an ass out of you and me. Patrick said her dad's gonna be mad when she gets home, though. Yeah, right. Like, come on. Yeah, no, we're not doing that. We're yup for both of them. Ooh. I don't know if you're. No, okay, moving on. Gonzag said once that girl. Okay, yeah. So I just wanted to make sure I sent that DM to him. Gonzag said once that girl gets a taste of the real world outside of education, I can almost guarantee she's gonna go full on trad wife. I mean, you would hope, but clearly we are seeing in real time that that's not the case. We can hope, but we can hope. Matthew said, while some catcalling can be sexual harassment, not all catcalling is sexual harassment. If someone says some wild shit and you pepper spray them, cool. Still not cool. Unless they are saying, I'm going to rape you, I'm going to hurt you, then you can pepper spray them. Anything else? No. Then you are the violent one. But if someone gives you a compliment, then no. So yeah, no. And either way, Michael says, bro, you are awesome. Bro, you are awesome. Okay, real quick. Put in the chat. Actually, we're gonna make this a poll. Did I just take a real sip or not? I just did I take a real sip just now or not? Just curious what you're saying. That is the mind melting, brother. Mind melting, brother. Gontex said, living in California, I can totally believe you as a woman has been assaulted in the streets. California, the land of progressives. Yikes. That's what I mean. But what do you mean by wild shit? What, you didn't give an example. You said wild shit, and then your next comment that I got is that's wild shit. I don't know what wild shit I mean. I mean, maybe YouTube, maybe it was wild, and YouTube was like, nah. Nobody said you're not entitled to your opinion, but you don't get to just decide that nobody else has had experiences just because you had a bad experience. You said to both people here that have that we haven't been assaulted. I have been assaulted in the street. K. Roach said, I was abused as a child, and I can assure you, my time in the military and prison was far more violent than what 99% of people have experienced. Men are statistically more likely to be assaulted. And again, I will say that you are likely a larger person than I am. And probably not as strong as me because I'm a man, but compared to other men, I am much more of a victim, or excuse me, I am much more of a target than you are. But yep, you're right. What am I doing? What are we doing?
Mixed feelings about the death penalty. I believe that if you evidently go into a school and shoot it up and kill thousands of innocent children.
Okay, now wait. She's gonna act like people in that room are in favor of school shooters. That's what she's setting up right now. Maybe I'm wrong, but that, by the way that she's articulating the beginning of the sentence, she's gonna act like she's the one who's against school shooters. And no school shooter has ever had thousands of innocent children, but go on.
Evidently go into a school and shoot it up and kill thousands of innocent children. You kind of, deserve that, deserve to not be alive anymore. So
nobody ever said that your experience hasn't been experienced. That is literally not what anybody said. What you did. Oh, wait. Projection. You're right. There was nothing in there. You're trying to gaslight us by saying we don't know what it's like when we absolutely do. I got time, baby. I got time. Let's see what Am said. I think Am is going to agree. She can't handle it. All right, now for the real one. Projection. That one's full. Yummy. I love when you guys give me the opportunity to make fun of you. All right, where were we here? So have I. What's your point? You're the one being asked. You never said that. Oh, you never said that. It's almost like I have the chats right here. Oh, you've never been inside the trees. You did say that. Oh my God. In the face. Don't lie. Just be like, oh, my bad. I didn't understand. That's okay. You're allowed to make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. Nobody is perfect. That is totally fine. That is totally fine that you made an assumption and you were wrong. Just say, oh, my bad. I'm sorry that happened to you. I didn't understand. And I was wrong. You could have said that, but you doubled down. And then you lied. I didn't say that. I never said that. I never said the thing that I said. I never said that. Shout out to K-Roach. Said, man, I want to support your channel, but I don't want to be a disciple. Make another tier. Hey, super chats work. I am not mad at it. You want to be a member? You want to be in the after party? Disciple it is. As we were saying, perfectly with this discussion, words don't hurt you. And that's totally fine. Oh, I'm on screen. Sorry. That's totally fine. If you can't be a disciple, I totally respect that. Unlike other people here who have different opinions, I respect people who have different opinions. You're allowed to have a different opinion. I'm not going to change my platform for one person, but if you can't support that, I totally respect that. I still want to have you here. I still want to have conversations with you, and I definitely still want to take your money. But no, it is a very purposeful exercise, and people taking words too seriously. And some words are more likely to be taken seriously than others. Like if you have a very strong religious thing, again, I totally understand why you wouldn't even want to watch a channel called The Indian Jesus. I'm not going to be mad at you. I'm certainly not going to say, no, you have to watch me. You have to pay me. Do what you got to do. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And you do what you do. And that's how we party. Thank you, K. Roach. Let's keep it going. It's almost like I've been catcalled all the time. You see this hair? Look at this. Can you tell that I'm a man? No, you can't. I've been catcalled by men all the time, and you know what? It feels goddamn good. Hey, I'm fucking sexy. No, I don't want to hit him because he's being nice. He's giving me a compliment. Maybe it's not the most appropriate way, but no, I don't. This is the solipsism. I think this way, therefore everyone must think this way. No, Star, no. You are not correct. Take the L. Take the L. You're just wrong. It's okay to be wrong. I'm wrong all the time. And you know what happens when I'm wrong? I'm like, shucks, I was wrong. And we move on with our lives. It's that simple.
That, deserve to not be alive anymore. So that's kind of something I've been debating with in my head. And I've talked to a lot of my friends about it. And some of them have very good points. Democrats, Republicans.
Well, I mean, I feel like every conservative who's been in a college classroom has felt that. I mean, I challenge you Democrats here, wear a MAGA hat on your campus and see what response you get from your classmates. They'll be...
No. I said you said a thing, and then you said you didn't say the thing, and then I brought up the thing where you said the thing. Doesn't matter how much time, you said I did not say that, and then you said that. And then you tried to get a win here, like, well, what if you did? And then that also didn't work. Oh, honey. Try again.
On your campus and see what response you get from your classmates. They will be some of the nastiest, most vile things you've ever experienced.
Just to be a dick. Nah. You know what? I just said men have to quit approaching women in general. No one wants that smoke. Facts. Up, projection. Project harder, mommy. Harder. Project more, mommy. Oh, I love it so much.
From your classmates. They will be some of the nastiest, most vile things you've ever experienced. And especially when it comes to grading, I've seen it with my own work. You tell the professor what they want to hear, you get an A. You argue conservative points, you're getting a C. It's across the board.
Across the board, across all schools. Maybe some exceptions, but all of them.
For me, I disagree with a lot.
Sorry, that was a Bill Burr thing. If you guys have ever seen, whenever he reads anything, whether it's the ad reads in his podcast or the letters, or not letters, but the emails that people send in, he always has something for me, as if I don't know, you get it. Either you get it or you don't. For me,
I disagree with a lot of Biden's.
Like, why did you need to say for me? Just say I disagree with a lot of Biden's thing. Why do you need to say that?
For me, I disagree with a lot of Biden's stances, or I don't like Biden. And I think that is hard to tell people in politics, especially.
Right. Nobody was confused about that. We were just saying, oh, okay, well, that's violence and that's not okay. That's just my opinion. That's my truth. For me, that's not okay.
Actually, older people. Ever since the first debate, there was a lot of pressure for people to be more vocal about it. But even then,
okay, show me where I was wrong. And I absolutely will say, my bad. I'm sorry. I was wrong. I was projecting. Maybe you need to be the one to do that. Yeah, but I will absolutely do that. Show me where I was wrong. And I absolutely, as people will attest to, anytime you show me I'm wrong, I am the first one to say, oh no, I was wrong. Shucks, because I don't have that big of an ego. I definitely have a big ego, but not that big. I just don't really care. No. You can tell me I'm running a show here. You're sitting around doing jack shit. So if you want an apology, you can find what you're claiming that you said when you've already lied multiple times here. So no. That's not how it works. You can find your shit if you want an apology, or you can just go away.
We try to organize an initiative for people.
Right. And that's not opinion I agree with. Am I not allowed to have an opinion on your opinions? Why did you share it? Just keep it to yourself if you don't want people commenting on it. Why are you putting it on the internet? If you don't want people commenting on it, then shut the fuck up.
to like understand that a lot of young people didn't like Biden.
Was that unspeakable in any of your social circles?
I think
Oh, you're going to be waiting a long time, honey bear.
it was before the presidential debate.
Have you ever kept an opinion to yourself?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. When I'm dealing with girls that are my age who I'm trying to maintain friendly relationships with, absolutely. I shut the up about what I think, because it's the only way I'm going to be able to get along with them. And it's like, for example, this was 2 nights ago, got invited to the bar by my guy friends, because all my friends are men at this point, except
Oh no, the bar! Oh no!
my female friends from college who are married. So I go to the bar and I just start talking to, random girls love to talk to me, and that's cute. Like, I like it, I do. And they're like, let me share my rape and my abortion story. And I'm like, I'm gonna need to be so compassionate and empathetic in this moment, because this person is pouring their heart out to me, but I hate that they killed their child. But I understand where they're coming from, that they were in a place of pain, and this is a very traumatizing experience. I'm gonna have to shut up so that I can at least have a human interaction that's not like bludgeoning them with talking points. You know, it's the only way to relate, especially to girls. With men love debate. I get guys all the time because I'll go after them and I'll be like, that's a stupid opinion, blah, 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 blah. And they love it.
Did you just admit to being a whore?
Like with girls, if you want to relate to them, you really have to like reel it in, tone it down, and just be very human and personal.
Big thing, which I'm honestly surprised has not come up yet today, is the discourse around like the conflict in Israel, Palestine, in Gaza.
Oh God, you know we're gonna get some super high level breakdown of what's going on in Gaza from these children.
There's particularly
I don't have anything to apologize for, but as I said at normal speed, but I'll slow it down so you can understand. If you present me with some evidence that I was hypocritical or wrong, then I will apologize. But you have failed to do that.
clearly at the University of Michigan. I know this is a big thing at a lot of other schools, but
I keep typing. Maybe if you keep chatting, that it'll change my mind. Maybe if you keep saying the same thing over and over and over, it'll change my mind. Keep trying.
Large groups of students, communities of students who have like direct like ties in that are like Palestinian or that are like Israeli. And so it's led to a lot of incidents on campus. There's been protests, there's been incidents where the police have been called in, students have gotten arrested.
The secondhand cringe. Oh.
So it's led to a pretty charged, tense feeling on campus. You know.
Speaking of which, holy shit. No. I can't do that. God damn it. Okay, remind me in the after party. It'll take 2 seconds, even if you got shit to do. Just join and remind me. There is a TikTok channel that I found, and it is fucking amazing. It's so good. It's this guy who is amazing at just reciting long monologues of movies. And he has he has a couple from Ace Ventura, and it's perfect. And I will find them, and I need you to see them. But you have to remind me. Yeah, have to remind me. Michael asks, wait, whose channel is this? It is mine! I am the supreme ruler! Oh, yeah. Oh.
Like the main like kind of pro-Palestine coalition on campus has been very like vocal. They've been leading protests and everything, and they've taken over is kind of a strong word, but they've gotten like a majority of seats in the central student government on campus. And so it's kind of led to an air of like, if you aren't like very vocally with them, it's kind of better to just not talk about it.
Have the Democrats, the college Democrats, taken a position on that?
We have, yeah. Last semester.
Fact check. It's Morty's channel. It's Morty's channel. That is absolutely right, sir. Thank you for the correction. Hey, wake your ass up. I was gonna say something I'm not allowed to say on here. All the crumbs. There you go. Thank you, sir. Very, very, very much appreciated. Thank you, sir.
College Democrats taking a
You're goddamn right. Morty is the man. Hell yeah.
position on that?
We have, yeah.
Wait, let's back that up. What do you say?
You aren't like very vocally with them. It's kind of better to just not talk about it.
Have the college Democrats?
So that's, again, just the most beta fucking position ever.
Well, if you don't agree with it, then they're going to be mad at you. So just tell them whatever they want to hear.
Like, if you aren't like very vocally with them, it's kind of better to just not talk about it.
Have the college Democrats taken a position on that?
We have, yeah. Last semester around the early spring, I believe, we put out a statement calling for like a ceasefire. Calling for like a ceasefire in the.
Okay, fair enough. But what is it that you would like to like? What is the? Let's say we get a ceasefire. Okay, and then what?
In the conflict, but.
Well, we want to cease the fire because fire is bad. We don't like fire.
Oh, God damn it. We hate fire. I mean, it can't go through doors. It's not ghosts.
There are a lot of students
Where's that from?
in kind of
Somebody
the
better know
Palestine
that
side,
fucking.
in kind of the.
Somebody better know that that reference. Please.
Calling for like a ceasefire in the conflict, but there are a lot of students in kind of the pro-Palestine side and kind of the pro-Israeli side as well that have kind of taken a like, if you're not like fully with us, you're against us.
To add to that too, there's like the Democratic Party mainly supports Israel, and then younger students at the University of Michigan who are more politically involved mainly support Palestine. And so I've definitely noticed that there's a mentality that like you can't be in the middle. It's hard because
you can't be in the middle. You have to pick the good guys or the bad guys. You can't have a nuanced position. You have to go with those people or those people. Democrats
and Republicans, at the end of the day, we can compromise. I think that that's something that America as a value can hold up, and can hold up compromise as like one of the core.
Sure, but compromise only works if you understand your own position, so you can understand what to concede and what not to concede. You don't have a position. You just go, I think these are the good guys. And so you are not in a position to concede or compromise anything because you don't know what it is that you actually care about.
Values of our nation. And I feel like it's...
And what were those values to you?
Hard because the sphere we're getting into now, it's harder to get to that point of compromise.
I just like point out, we had a ceasefire up until October 7th when thousands of Hamas terrorists ran into that country, raped women by the thousands, killed Holocaust survivors, and then called home to tell their family how many Jews they killed. This is something that America, we've seen it here in our own country. On the morning of September 11th, my uncle, he was a Cleveland firefighter. He left his father's funeral that morning. And by that evening, he was in New York City with his unit.
This is the type. This is the type of difference. Just it's. I don't even know. What am I trying to say? What am I trying to say? Like the difference between somebody who clearly comes from a family of people who have value and care about America, care about life, care about people. Like I'm from Central Jersey. My dad was working in New York City. Luckily not that day, but he was working in New York City at the time, in Manhattan, in right in that area. It is just it is just luck that I don't even remember what he was doing that day, but he wasn't there. It's just luck. He may not have died, but he definitely would have been fucked up for life. He definitely would have had breathing issues. He definitely would have been covered in dust if he had to go to work that day. I worked in a restaurant where my manager was a retired firefighter who, on 9/11, was a first responder. And he was hurt. And so he was back at the fire station while everybody else went to the ground zero. He waited for everybody to leave. He said, fuck you. I'm driving myself up there and I'm doing what I can do. And of course, once I got there, they're not like, oh, no, you can't do it. Because he cared about this country and what it means. And that's just so lost. That's so lost on people. Pictures of the World is preaching self-centeredness. And unfortunately, people are listening. And he says, we want our kids and grandkids to have a safe and free country, even if it's hard for us.
Bingo.
Exactly. Michael said, I'm a Marine Corps combat vet. Well, thank you for your service. Said, I wish America knew better what the rest of the world is like. They wouldn't behave the ways they do these days. Facts. Super facts. And I'm also not necessarily the most worldly person, but I still agree. It's wild. It's wild. It is wild. All right, let's finish this up. Yeah.
His father's funeral that morning. And by that evening, he was in New York City with his unit. And he spent 2 weeks there searching through the rubble, searching for his fellow Americans that had been basically put into a blender of concrete.
Mm-hmm.
And within 6 years, him and everyone that he went with
forgotten.
Were dead because of the things that they were exposed to at Ground Zero.
Jesus.
So
Jesus. And there are let's say there are cohorts. There are cohorts of liberals who would see this. Excuse me. There are cohorts of liberals who would see this. And their reaction would be, well, America did this, that. This man just told you his dad died in 6 years. Because of all the asbestos and all that shit. I mean, these are the kind of people. And let me zoom out. And earlier we were talking about how Gen Alpha is going to see what's good and change the world and da. You're already seeing the disparity between the Zoomers who know what's good and the Zoomers who are just normal people. And I don't say normal people in a good way. Right now, you see there's average, there's dumb people, but there's the average, and then there's, you got a few that are up there. By Gen Alpha, it's going to be either here or there. All the ones up here are going to take over, hopefully, and hopefully turn this country around. But god damn.
They put into a blender of concrete. And within 6 years, him and everyone that he went with were dead because of the things that they were exposed to at Ground Zero. So when I see what happened in Israel and what Hamas did to them, they feel the same about us. Mm-hmm. Everyone that is defending Palestine, especially you young women, if you went over to Hamas right now in Palestine, you would be raped, you would be murdered. And full stop.
Full stop.
And we got to stop supporting groups that are
Where's for Palestine?
Anti-American.
I don't have a position, but there's people that are pro-Israel that are like, okay, well, why don't you have, they're very passionate about
sigils. Oh my God, sigils.
About it. And just because of that, there's been hit pieces, like people coming after me just because I don't have a good stance on it, or because I support Candace Owens. And I can just see, you're very passionate.
Candace
I think
Owens,
that's what's passionate been this whole was over Israel. And it's why is that? I just don't care about, I'm America first. And I just want to put America first. We should be giving foreign aid to any country. That's it. And it's people are like, well, what about Israel? They need it. They're the only Western country that's against Islam that exists. We need to protect them. It's or some people will say it's in the Bible. And the Bible says, thou shalt give Israel money. It's what? What are you talking about, dude? Are you insane? Why are people so gung-ho about this? And now I'm getting gung-ho because it's
Good question. Let's see if we have, I would assume. Nope, nobody knows. Who the fuck are these kids? Nobody gives a shit, not even the free press who is hosting them.
Are you insane? Why are people so gung-ho about this?
Yes, sir, that we don't know your name. They are, in fact, insane.
And now I'm getting gung-ho because it's why are you gung-ho about this particular issue out of everything? A lot of my Republican friends feel the exact same way. Why are we, so gung-ho about this?
Sam, why do you think that Republicans are so gung-ho in Israel?
Well, I think it's really for our own security. They are our biggest strategic partner when it comes to the U.S. military. Us being able to operate out of Israel, work with their intelligence community. Thanks to Israeli intelligence, the United States has, there's been a lot of attacks prevented on us through Israeli intelligence. And, they have stood with us. And I think it's important that we stand with them.
I mean, conceptually, I agree. But at what point is it like, I mean, we're with you, but hey, can you chill the fuck out? Maybe. Like, honestly, it would be better. Honestly, it would be better. Like, if Israel was like, oh no, America, we can't do anything. Can you send SEAL Team 6 in and just take out Hamas? I would much rather that. It would be way cheaper than whatever the fuck is going on now. Yeah, I'm absolutely with that. Absolutely with that. We should need what? Should need Israel? I mean, I agree. I mean, I definitely see that they're it's strategic. I'm not saying nothing good comes from it, but we shouldn't. I don't know. I don't know what you mean. But yeah, that's again the idea that we can't say like Hamas is so bad, therefore we need to be fans of Israel, but Israel's kind of doing the same shit, but like with different intentions. So it's kind of different, but it's not different. But effectively, it's kind of the same thing. Nope. Sorry, done. Don't care.
And they have stood with us.
Exactly. There you go.
And I think it's important that we stand with them. And like, I understand where you're coming from. Absolutely. I hate seeing money go to other countries.
Yeah.
But
More
when
than
it comes,
any other country in the world.
But when it comes to Israel, it's part of our strategic defense. We need to be able to launch attacks out of that country in case something goes on with Iran, in case something goes on in some other part of the Middle East. It is absolutely vital for our military to be able to respond from there.
If Iran attacks Israel, should America put troops on the ground?
Yes. Wait, America. Whoa. American troops on the ground. I thought they were the greatest military in the Middle East. Why do we need American troops? Do we not have drones? Do we not have all the fucking type of equipment that we left in Baghdad? Is it Baghdad or Kabul or whatever the fuck it was in Afghanistan? Why do we need American troops on the ground in Israel? Somebody explain to me what a man can do in a foreign country militarily that a drone can't do. Intel? What intel do we need? They're already our fucking allies. What are we talking about? Why would we put American troops on the ground?
Respond from there.
If Iran attacks Israel, should America put troops on the ground against Iran?
That one's a hard one.
Why?
See, that's where I would say, as the founder of Young Americans for Peace, I would say no Americans should die in a conflict between two foreign countries.
That's not racist. I just meant the dilly. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And this is kind of, guys, like, look at the gender makeup of what's going on here. Blazer Girl has been on fire. And some of you are like, yeah, we would rather have fucking Soy Boy legs crossed and, well, it's just him. We would rather have Soy Boy legs crossed vote than her. Just not going to be my position. K-Road said, we can absolutely become independent with our energy, food, and production. We just aren't willing to take the lumps in the short term to get there. Yep. There's this idea that things are supposed to be perfect. And so if things get temporarily bad, that's automatically all bad. You know, kind of darkest before the dawn, calm before the storm. I am the storm, right? Whatever you like. Whatever analogy you like. Like I said, what is it like? $800 billion we give to other nations yearly that could be used right here. Bingo. Yep. Patrick said we should help countries that support us. We give money to countries that hate us. True. I mean, even about like what countries support us in what did I just do? Oh, what countries support us? And this is a genuine question from ignorance. What's a country that genuinely supports us in such a way that if they didn't support us, we'd be fucked? What is that country? What is the name of that country? Anderson, America is the most capable, innovative country in the world. Our military is the size of the top 8 other largest militaries combined. We can make a motherfucking pencil. What? I didn't mean to what you. I'm off with the buttons today, but hell yeah. And yeah, I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad at it. Saudi Arabia. Okay. Tell me what does Saudi Arabia do that's so important to America that we need to suck them off? I'm being facetious with the suck off part, but you know what I'm asking.
No Americans should die in a conflict between two foreign countries.
We are in an interconnected world. I mean, there's Iran is an evil the regime anyway is an imperialist expansionist regime that,
But why does America have to be everyone's superhero? Why is it always America's responsibility?
Well, it's ultimately, the argument is that it's ultimately for America's good.
It's for...
Is it no? Please explain to me. Please explain to me how sending trillions, literally trillions of dollars to other countries while we have veterans in the streets. How is that ultimately good for America? Please explain that to me.
Because responsibility.
Well, it's ultimately, the argument is that it's ultimately for America's good.
It's for, I'd say it's for most people.
Well, I mean, don't we have a shit ton of oil here? Again, genuine question from ignorance, but I was pretty sure that we had a lot of oil here. No?
People's good at this point. That's very debatable, very arguable, I know, but like if America were to step down as like, the head of the world stage, whatever you want to call it, like
you act like that's a position that was like bestowed. As if like, well, we said we were going to be the leader of the world stage, so like, no.
America were to step down as like, the head of the world stage, whatever.
Again, like that's not how it works.
Whatever you want to call it, like someone else is going to fill it. There's going to be a vacuum just naturally left. And if it's not the US, it would very likely be China.
Okay. And then if China's an issue, then okay, then we have reasons for wars. But having a war so that we don't have a war, that don't make no sense. If we're going to get into a war, okay. But let's not get into a war to make sure that we don't get into a war. What? Comtech said China became a superpower so quick because they're constantly involved in the interconnected world. This whole connected world argument is getting so old to listen to. Great. Anyville said the United States has more known oil reserves than the rest of the globe combined. Then what are we doing? What are we doing? I don't get it. I don't get what the dependent. What is the dependence? Tell me something that America in general will be. Oh no! If we fucked over any other country, pick a country, and tell me how fucking over that country would be bad for American citizens.
Naturally left, and if it's not the US, it would very likely be China. And I think it's generally agreeable that China's interests aren't...
Oh, it's generally agreeable. Oh, because a lot of people think it, therefore it's true.
Aren't necessarily always in our own.
Finish the sentence. When I think about the future...
All right, you guys, finish the sentence. Finish the sentence. I'm giving you some time. We're going to play it over. I'm going to play it a couple times. This is our last chapter. I haven't asked for, I haven't put up the keep the party raging thing because you guys have been so generous. Well, that doesn't mean you can't. But this is the last chapter, so make sure you're paying attention. I would like answers to the question.
His interests aren't necessarily always in our own.
Are you paying attention? John, Rick, Sally, Bob, I know you're not paying attention.
Finish the sentence. When I think about the future of America, I feel...
When I think about the future of America, I feel scared but optimistic. Very scared, but more than mildly, but not very optimistic. Very scared, and slightly slightly more than generally optimistic, but very, very, very scared. Patrick said anxious as hell. Yikes. Matt said I'll answer this question after the election. Fair enough. Anybody else? Let's see what they say.
Always in our own.
Finish this sentence. When I think about
Context said hopeful, but watching carefully. Good one. Yep. Michael says, like, I need to prepare for the worst and hope for the best. Yeah. Michael said, I feel that big government and big corporation is the totalitarian unit trying to run out lives or ruin lives. Either way, I agree. Am said, like, feminism will ensure we fall. I hear you there. All right, we got some cautious optimism. I'm not mad at it. I'm gassy today. I'm burping all over the place. Anyway, said uncertain that the states will remain in the union. And I'm okay with that. Okay. I definitely don't think that a national divorce is going to be anything pretty. But that being said, like we were just talking about, some growing pains are definitely in order. So I like Matt's original answer. I like Matt's answer. Where we at? Comics said, I really feel like it's time we all pay attention again. Were some people paying attention before? I wasn't until I was, but all right, let's say what the Zoomers say.
China's interests aren't necessarily
the future
always in our own.
Finish the sentence. When I think about the future of America, I feel
optimistic.
Okay, we got an optimistic from the liberal guy, of course.
Hopeful.
Concerned.
I would say hopeful as well.
Scared.
Yeah, I mean, we grew up through like the recession.
No, the fuck you did. 2024. If it's 2024, how? Let's say you're 20 in 2024. Okay, so never mind. I got my math off.
Shitty job market.
Jesus, fuck, I'm old. Okay, sorry. I was graduating high school in 2008. So
scared.
Yeah, I mean, we grew up through like the recession, the shitty job market that followed, and then just to make things worse, like COVID a few years later and everything. And now we're just kind of like sitting here. I think we're like all, mostly grown up, and we're like, this sucks.
Yeah.
Like last decade or so has kind of sucked.
It is hard for younger people to buy.
That's what I'm saying, though. But we're talking about the 2008 recession, right? Like, how old were you when? That's what I was trying to think. Like 2024, 28, 20. Yeah, you were fucking a child. You were a child. Yeah, exactly. Like, come on. I thought I was off base for a second. But millennials lived through the recession. You didn't live through shit until COVID. And hey, you could take that. COVID, I mean, we all dealt with COVID, but we were not all high schoolers during COVID. And I will give you that. High school and younger for COVID, that is your 9/11. Fair enough. But get the fuck out of here with your goddamn recession. You didn't have no fucking recession. You lived under Trump.
Decade or so has kind of sucked.
It is hard for younger people to buy a house. And it is hard for us to get into the job market or to like finish education without being in substantial debt.
Any Film said, hey, us Gen X kids have seen some shit. Oh, really? I've never heard that before. No, I'm just messing with you. Soil? Oh, I thought I saw soil and I was like, wait, is some of the soil here? All right.
To like finish education without being in substantial debt. And I think that a lot of us are very upset about that because there's a really...
I only fucking live here because my dad's a doctor and he bought it and now I'm paying him. I'm renting to own from my dad. That's privilege. But like without that, I sure as shit would not be able to afford anything.
A big trend to go to college, to incur this debt, and then spend the rest of your life paying it off.
So how about you just don't? You're the one who decided that your career is so important. You can just not. You can just not. And I promise you, you'll be fine. I mean, she's not like, oh my God, she's a cute girl. She's a cute girl. She'll find somebody. You're good. You're good. Just go out into the world, and I promise you will be better than going to college and going to job and working all that shit. Don't do that. That's the problem.
To go to college, to incur this debt, and then spend the rest of your life paying it off. And that is a really hard burden, especially for someone like me who has to pay for their entire college by themselves.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
And I honestly think college is a racket. I really genuinely think that most majors offered in these big
Are you guys really arguing about soil right now?
colleges, most of them you're not going to get a job in your field. And that's just kind of a fact. You're going to end up working a very menial job, $15 an hour starting off the gate, when you have all of this debt because everyone told you you need to go to college.
I wonder if I could do that any louder.
You can go be an electrician. You can go be an underwater welder and make a ton of money. But when we were growing up and trying to decide this, it was always looked down upon.
The traditional norm in my community was you go to a university and get a 4-year degree. And I personally, I love going to college, but for some people that isn't necessarily what they want to do or where they see themselves. And I think with kind of the college degree thing, I think what's become more important now is what you do outside of school. A college degree will not get you anywhere. Just saying that, oh, I have a degree in this, you're not going to be offered a job. It's
nope.
I have a degree in psychology, guys. I went for all 4 years to a private
University. And I train dogs and talk shit on the internet. And am broke.
You know, your internship, your clubs, your leadership roles. I think those are definitely more important now, especially in the job market, than going to college.
I'm hearing such broad agreement across this ideological spectrum. So what do you guys think should be done about, like, what would help to make it?
But that makes sense because you would expect that as ideas trickle down throughout the generations, in the same way that it's rather rare for a millennial to be that outspoken about gay marriage before all the trans stuff. Like now, that's a lot more common because of the way things have happened. But like in 2015, nobody gave a shit if you're gay. Like you might get made fun of, but you get made fun of for anything. You know?
Easier for you guys to build wealth.
Stop taxing us to death. We pay income taxes.
Based, Donald Trump. No income tax. Anyone said I bought my... Fuck you. Anyone said I bought my first house at 23. 23. That is wild. That is wild. 23. Yowza. Okay. Anyway, so I bought my first house at 23 with my wife. I was in college at the time and delivering pizza, and she worked as an office admin. But then, of course, you go to my Gen X video where I talked about, hey, maybe it makes sense that since Gen X doesn't want to talk about anything about their lives, that, you know, younger generations are not going to understand them. And, you know, we were like, oh, we didn't run away. We moved out. Yeah. And spent how much on a house? Ask a millennial how much the houses cost at 18. Not the same thing. Yeah. Absolutely no way. Absolutely no way. I'm going to assume that is not relevant to me. Shout out to Unwanted Voe, a member for 16 months. Oh, goodness, brother. Thank you for being along for the ride. And let's give Morty a treat for that one. Well, we got a bunch here because they're little and they're small and we're running out. And that's the old bag. And I got to save the good ones for the dogs that I actually train. But he's getting the goodies anyway. Thank you, sir. All right, let's finish this up. I am ready for the after party.
You guys to build wealth.
Stop taxing us to death. We pay income taxes. We pay property taxes. We pay sales taxes.
Oh, that's why this is a non-starter, I guess.
We pay taxes when we have to get a new car. We have to pay taxes to put gas in the car. We have to pay taxes on everything under the sun. And it's like, I know for a fact, I would be doing a lot better if I just got to keep the money that I earn. If the government didn't come in and take half my check, I wouldn't be having to pinch pennies as much. I wouldn't be struggling. I know there's a lot of people that are in that position because every time the government has an opportunity, they take more and more out of our pocket.
You're nodding along just
But that's for the good of people and things.
like a Republican. What do you have to say to that?
No, you caught me.
Hold on.
Wait, what?
You're nodding along just like a Republican. What do you have to say to that?
No, you caught me.
Not a Republican.
I
Hold
was
on a
thinking less about taxation and more about reinvesting back into America. It is harder to get a job in this economy. And the Biden administration and Kamala Harris have made millions of jobs at this point. I think that we need to put
Millions
more
of jobs that already existed before the lockdown, or new jobs on top of those? Oh, just the jobs that they destroyed. So that's like, if I take $5 from you and then I give you $5, I didn't really give you $5, right? If you take a job and then you give a job, you're not really creating a job. You're just giving back the job that you took.
Stupid.
made millions of jobs at this point. I think that we need to put more of an emphasis on that, like trading and making products and,
Oh, you mean like Donald Trump wants to do?
Bringing jobs home.
Bringing jobs home.
There you go. We turned her. We turned her. She doesn't even know that she is literally saying Trump talking points. She doesn't know that what she wants is literally the Trump platform. Look at fucking homeboy. Look at the fucking host. She's like, wait, girl. You know what you're doing? Oh, honey.
That, like trading and making products and,
Bringing jobs home.
bringing jobs home. Yeah, I like that. And I think that that is a really big part about taxation, is the fact that we are getting taxed a lot on foreign imports. Like in the betterment of America, I see more jobs being brought back home.
Another big
Which is why you should go with Trump.
part of it is both political parties cater to the billionaire class that funds them. And the billionaire class is largely investment company managers, hedge fund managers. And what do? BlackRock and Vanguard buy up single family homes and turn them into rental units. So how am I supposed to be able to afford a single family home when I'm being taxed to death? You're buying them all up, you're turning them into rentals, or you're artificially jacking up the price.
You're not, bitch. You're not.
And then you have to compete with HB1 visa workers. That's part of the immigration crisis, where we need immigration reform because we need to be benefiting American-born Americans in the workforce. And we're just not right now.
You said earlier that all of the Republicans and our libertarian friend here all said they had friends who were Democrats, and all of the Democrats said,
Is that the end of this video? They all walk out hand in hand and then vote for Trump? No. That's Gen Alpha. That's going to be Gen Alpha. Again, the ones that are dumb are going to be so much dumber than the ones that are smart, that the smart ones are going to be like, yo, you're too stupid to engage in this conversation. Just listen to me. I'm right. And they'll be like, oh, okay. Trust me. Gen Alpha. There we go. Patrick said, it's official. I love her. I don't love the blazer, but she made up for it with her legs, right?
said that at least in your immediate milieu on campus, there are effectively no Republicans that you talk to. Do you guys think that's a problem?
There are more Democrats involved in higher education than Republicans.
Yeah. So again, take that one step further. And ask, why do you think that is?
Unfortunately, you guys selected some extremely sheltered college students, because we all go to really liberal colleges. It's also the fact that, like, in colleges, we're seeing less Republican people.
I read something recently that because there are so relatively few Republicans on college campuses,
there's not. They're just not telling you. They are there. We are the silent majority, and you finna find out. I got a whole list of screenshots from people over the last year who've been telling me, oh, you better wait till November. You're going to be fucked. And we're going to go over all of them.
That the Republicans who do go to these liberal
Yes,
colleges
name a
end up
name.
coming out much stronger in their ability to articulate and fight for their points of view, whereas opposed to liberal students who, because they don't really hear a lot of this stuff, like are less good at doing that.
Or bad. It's almost like, the whole idea that we know is true, that people on the right understand people on the left way better than people on the left understand the people on the right. And just by that calculus, if that's all the information you had, you should go to the right every single time. Every single time. Obviously, you have more information, so, it's more nuanced than that. But if you have one side that knows one side, and you have one side that knows two sides, what are we talking about?
Do you think that there's any truth to that? Do you think that's a problem? And how do you think that college, that liberals in college can address that?
Leave.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree that's a problem. Like they're like college campuses, they're like in the ideal world, they're open spaces. Anybody should be free to speak their mind because that's what universities are. They're a place for learning. They're a place for collaboration.
Unless you're Jewish, unless you're a man, unless you're a white, unless you're against trans, unless you're conservative.
So yes, just like blanket statement, I would say any situation where someone feels like they're not like safe or they're not going to be heard or like they have a reason why they shouldn't be allowed to speak out on campus is very much a problem.
For those of you who went to college as conservatives,
well, you're better than the other conservatives because college is the only thing that gives you value, of course.
Are there things that you think that the school could have done or that other students could have done?
Trying to hire Republican faculty.
Yeah, for sure.
To where you can get a professor that,
diversity.
Not maybe if half of your professors might be on a different side of the spectrum than you, that's fine. But when you're going to a class and class after class, every single professor is espousing the same views over and over again, it's hard not to feel alienated there.
More right-wingers should get PhDs. More right-wingers should go into academia. There is a heavy discouragement against people who identify.
Let's hear her reasoning, because I disagree, but I'm willing to hear it.
Conservative from going into higher education. They're like, that's a waste of time. Why would you bother getting a PhD in gender studies, right?
Yeah. Agreed.
But hear me out. I would actually love to get a PhD in political philosophy. I would love to be a political theory professor. Imagine the impact I could have just having conversations with my students who I know in every other class is hearing the same talking points over and over and over. And I'm like, listen, I'm going to give you a fair and balanced view.
Honey, you don't need to go to a political philosophy class to understand leftism. It's not complicated. It's rehashed ideas, and you can just read about it. You don't need a class. Even the most, arguably the most based person on this entire panel still is indoctrinated to think that higher education is the only way. As if y'all haven't fucking never lived without the internet. What is it that you think is going to happen in a classroom that you can't get on the internet? I don't get it. I know, I get it, but it's just frustrating how steep this shit has seeped into these people's minds. She's arguing if it's not a fucking Cincinnati boy, it's definitely her. He's pretty cool, but it's between the two of them that's the most based. And still, higher education is the only way. STEM is one thing, sure, absolutely, STEM is one thing. But political philosophy? What is it that you think you're going to learn? All they do is, again, take simple ideas and spin them into these super complicated things to make them complicated simply so that you don't understand the complication. When it's actually a simple idea, but they use crazy words with semantic obfuscation. And because they learn big words, then they think that they're better. And because you don't know the big words, just like our Blaze girl did at the beginning. You don't know that. Oh my God. It becomes a shaming tactic. Shame, insult, guilt, and the need to be right. Shout out to Kevin Samuels. For calling out sign language. It's not just women. I'd hang out with you too, brother. Hey, if you have not hit the subscribe button, hit the subscribe button. We are on the way to 5K. When we hit 10K, we are going to AC and partying in person for real. Let's get this party raging.
Here's this, here's that. You can make up your own minds, but this is just the literature. This is the philosophy. These are the facts. And so, unfortunately, so much of the rhetoric on the right is college is a scam, go to the trades, which we do need tradespeople. We absolutely do. But if you are able to get a PhD because you have that drive, you
yes.
just have that gift of intelligence or bookishness, you absolutely ought to. But then the universities have to be unbiased in hiring you based on qualifications and not based on ideology. That's the real way that we can restore balance on college campuses.
Best point from the other side.
Okay, I don't have one.
They don't have one.
One exact point. I think everyone articulates very well, and it makes me realize that we all are on different sides of the coin, how we want to go about them and how we
What a female answer.
want to make America a more prosperous
again.
place is very different.
Our generation, we are kind of yearning for, let's just be nice to each other. Let's bring back the compassion. Let's have these conversations and actually be authentic with each other. And that's something I do believe, Republicans can do a little bit better at, is we need to get back to that compassionate conservatism and letting people know we feel the
Again, no, it's not it's like, trust me, as an atheist with long hair, and I don't work out and I'm short, I get all of the lack of compassion that comes from the right wing. And it sucks. It's not cool. It's not fair. It's not fun. I wish it would change. I wish people would be nicer. But you think the left has more compassion than the right? No.
better at, is we need to get back to that compassionate conservatism and letting people know we feel the way that we do because we care.
Yeah, I would have to say, just because it was a topic that we just talked about, getting more Republicans into higher education, I think, is really important. Like, Jackie, I think you would make a great professor.
God bless.
We were
Thank you.
talking about how you would love to go into like political sociology. And I think that is something that we definitely really need.
No, we don't.
All right. Well, thank you all for doing this. You were fantastic. Thank you so much for coming and talking to me and educating me about the youth. I hope you all watch and tell your friends how cool I am.
All right. We made it through the whole thing. I didn't even. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you guys so very much for hanging out. I really, really, really do appreciate it. You guys were so amazing. Not just getting Morty his peanut butter, adding other stuff as well, and of course, our huge sponsor of the stream, Indie Film. Thank you so much. Let's give our man his due. Thank you so much, and a big shout out to all of the other donations. Shout out to Funkmaster again, being our co-sponsor. We had Unwanted Foe and Garrett Grant and Guantek and Patrick. Garrett Grant with more gifted memberships. Carl again, so fucking good. We had our boys one more time. Carl again. And of course, the truest message that has ever been spoken. It's Morty's channel. But again, our sponsor, Indie Film. Thank you. Guys, I really, really, really do appreciate having these conversations with you. It is what I live for. And it's not over. So head over to the after party, because if you're not there, I am going to assume that you don't want to party with me. I'm not going to beg anybody to hang out with me. So head to the after party if you are a member of the channel, or if you have the permissions. Go and hit it up. We got some stuff to talk about for sure. So definitely come through. I am just going to take Morty out, and I will be there. Once again, guys, this is Morty, and I have been your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense, guys. I am live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, and sometimes whenever I feel like it. So hit that subscribe, ring the bell, and you will never miss an Indian Jesus live party ever again. Once again, guys, Morty over here, Lutch over here, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Until next time, guys, maybe the after party in a couple seconds. We are out of here. Peace.